That's the live button. Welcome to News on the Flip Side. Every once in a while, people got to play some promos on here to make some money. So we got a couple promos coming up, and then we got a little music coming up, and then we'll grace you with our presence or somebody's presence. I'm not sure who the hell's presence it'll be, but somebody's presence will grace you. So please stay tuned, and we shall return.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast
I'm not having a paranormal experience. Maybe some crazy
at gmail.com.
That's this next one is from the new show True Crime.
Podcast at gmail.com.
Every scar tells a tale untold. Every breath makes the night grow cold. The hunter's heart and the prey's last rhyme all collide in the world of true crime. Truth is lurking in the lies they feed. Justice waits for
I'm liking this already.
Through the dark, we'll trace the line. Welcome to the world of true crime.
Pretty cool. The new show just started yesterday, huh? Yeah, stop going on mute thing when I'm making crazy things.
But what if dragons were more than fantasy? Are they guardians, monsters, or misunderstood relics of a lost age? Join us live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Beneath the Hollow Moon.
The Power Agency is built for those who move like predators, decide like weapons, and execute like their life depends on it. You're either fully in, or you're invisible.
Anyone
We
can
have Scatmanned it out, so we are Scatmanned it out. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I hope everybody's out there in the world is having a beautiful time listening to us on United Public Radio. This is News on the Flip Side. You have Jay, Sean, and Michael here tonight. God knows who's going to get in trouble first. Probably going to be Sean. He's got that look on his face like "fuck you, people." And anyway, do we start the show out with an F word? I apologize. Anyway, welcome to News on the Flip Side. We have lots of stuff to talk about, guys. I mean, there is just news on top of news on top of news on top of news on top of news. There's so much going on. We actually, Michael and I were talking before the show even started, because the network's growing, so we're going to probably end up with two. How we're going to fit in a weekly news show, a daily news show, because frankly, with Trump in the White House, the news just doesn't seem to stop. You know, Biden was in the White House, the news did this.
I might also add
Trump
that when
House
Trump wasn't in the White House, he was in the news every day for the last 4 years. So there's a lot that you can fill up two networks just on Trump alone.
Well, there just seems to be a lot to talk about. But anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all are all out there enjoying the show. You can find Sean on Tuesdays and Sundays. No, Sundays he does a strip tease. Yeah. Tuesdays he's cool. He's just doing some paranormal stuff. Sundays, like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He's always got some sexy woman on when he's doing strip tease. Michael follows us on Saturday night after the chat. He's already revved up because he's had 3 hours of us painting the asses before he even got to his show. Jay's over here with me on a couple of nights, and then he's with Jeffrey on another night. You know, Clara, one day we'll get around to that. Right now, we don't have the space. I'd stick him in his own show, but we don't have the space. We don't have anywhere to put him. Not that would be worth putting him in. So again, welcome to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. And just get ready, because there is so much shit to talk about. So we're going to start out with Diddy. We might as well start out with Uncle Diddy first.
Oh, Uncle P?
So I'm listening to the news today. What was that, John?
I haven't seen him too much on the news. I haven't seen
Oh,
him.
I caught quite a bit of him today. Him and his pink cocaine, and so his aide, the guy who did all of his stuff for him, cut a deal with the Fed, so he can't go to jail. So now he's spilling his guts. But it doesn't seem like it's all working out the best for the defense, because I'm listening to this guy. So first off, he says the girl who's made all these complaints. He said, "Well, no, she was there, definitely there, willingly. She was not being forced or coerced in any way." He said, "Matter of fact, none of the people who were there were forced or coerced." Now, this is the guy who used to go out and get his drugs. So get this: he used to get fentanyl and something else. They would mix it together, and then they would dye the shit pink.
Oh, gross.
I'm not kidding you. Oh yeah, man. So this is by their own. This is coming right out of his little book.
What did they dye it with? Food coloring?
If I know, and I don't even know if I want to know.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, they talked about that. And so this guy, he was the guy who put all the parties together. He never attended any, and then he cleaned them up afterwards. So there were several times where they had to spend like $1,800 getting stains out of the carpet from baby oil. Baby oil is not the easiest thing to get out.
Baby oil, probably more like bodily fluids.
And then, of course, the beds were full of it too. So a lot of that had to be done and redone. And but as the guy went on and talked, some of this looked damning to Diddy, and some of it looked damning to the other people.
Wow.
Now, possession of cocaine is a big offense in the United States, and the amount he had in his house is probably enough to get him 10 years. But so the slave thing, that's going to get thrown out. That's just stupid.
The problem with the cocaine is you need the evidence, and if you have a little bit of evidence, it doesn't.
Oh no, they got like 18. They got like a pound and a half. They got enough coke on him and put him away.
I'm not hearing any testimony that's going to put him away for life, like they've been saying.
Oh no, I haven't heard anything of putting him away from life. So what it looks like, and I heard a couple of big lawyers talking about this today. They said a lot of the stuff, like the girl's testimony, they're saying she's willing. They're going to bring in some experts to say she was not, she was definitely willing. So what they're looking at, what he's really looking at, is possession and racketeering.
Yeah,
he's not even going to get in trouble for bringing hookers across state lines because he brought them to Nevada, which of course prostitutes illegal. So
she was threatening to kill people.
But still, though, transporting them across state lines is illegal.
Yeah. She was threatening to kill people, and then all kinds of. I mean, she was right with it. And she's saying that she was forced or coerced. I'm not buying it.
No, and a lot of other people have now said that that's not a true statement, that she wasn't. She was in it just as much as everybody else, and that makes sense for a young girl being wrapped up in it. I could see that. So, but that's what they're thinking. They're thinking possession and racketeering is probably 15 to 20. Yeah. So he's going to probably do time, but is he going to life?
I've been to a lot of court cases, man. Weeks ago, I mean, not even what was it? A month ago, whatever it was. They were letting people go on and on in court about what he puts on his cheeseburgers and this and whatever. Yeah. All this testimony, just hours worth of just trite. Nothing, man. And that jury's got to be sitting there saying, is this what they got? They're talking about, or more baby oil, more of this, or more.
Well, because the drugs are open and closed. I mean, they
want to know. Yeah, they want child sex. They want sex trafficking. They want drug trafficking. Anything that you can amount charges, I haven't really heard any of that testimony.
I'm figuring if he gets, he's going to get 10 to 15, and it's a
Fed crime. He's got a Tootsie Roll for a penny, man. A Tootsie Roll, dude.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, this is a Fed. If this wasn't a federal,
another Tootsie Roll without thinking.
Yeah. Well, if these weren't federal charges, he'd probably be out in like 4 or 5 years. But these are Fed charges, so he's got to do 2/3 no matter what. Yeah. And he's going to probably get 10. He might even get 15. So he might be out in 10. He might be out in 7 or 8, but he ain't getting out any sooner than that. And unfortunately, they got him on possession of cocaine cold that was in his house. You're going to have a hard time saying it's not yours. And that wasn't even that. They actually found other drugs besides that. So, I mean, when it comes to the drug
thing, less than 5 years, and he'll go to Club Fed, and he'll hang out with a whole bunch of rich, powerful people, and then he'll come out with a hell of a lot.
No, he's going to the same places. What's his name from California? What was the pervert that was giving drugs to people? The one that's in jail right now trying to get out? He going to the same jail with him. He ain't getting nothing special. They don't like Diddy enough to give him anything special. He's going
No,
same
not
jail as that college
Money,
that
money,
football
money
player.
buys you favors, dude.
Yeah, that football player had a lot of money too. Actually, I think he had more than Diddy, but he still ended up in a jail for life. So I don't know. You know, he's not going to get no special jails if he ain't got enough money for the special jail. He really ain't got enough power for the special jail, unless he's got somebody we don't know about on camera or something. He ain't got much.
You need the whole jury.
Maybe Barack will come out and save him. You know,
Maybe.
I mean, as far as
convict, you know, and I think they're going to have a hard time with that. They're going to have to let
well,
him down.
I'm exactly. So I'm confused about this whole thing.
3.5 to 5, he'll get. Watch.
If they're trying to do this all under one jury as one pack, he's going to walk because they'll have a hung jury. Somebody in that jury will hang. Now, if they're doing it separately, the drugs are this and this and this. No, he's going to jail. The cocaine enough is going to give him 10 years. Racketeering, they don't have a charge. Racketeering starts at 15 years. There's no way around that.
Buju Banton got Buju Banton, the reggae dude,
Jamaican singer,
got caught in Florida, 2.5 kilos of cocaine in their tour bus, and then they alleged that they were going to sell it or whatever, but really it was for the band to use on the road, so they don't have to go hunting for cocaine in every city as they're on tour, you know. So they got away with just doing some public service messages and whatever. I mean, like, it depends your lawyer what kind of deal they can make. And
lawyer. This judge doesn't like Diddy. He doesn't like him, and he's the one going to do the
people like Diddy, especially with.
I don't think people like him personally.
The judge, you know, the jury might decide what his fate's going to be, but the judge is going to decide the sentence. The judge don't like the guy. He's already told him, look, if it was up to him, you'd already be in jail. Yeah. So the thing of it is he getting past this judge will be tough. If he's got what they said he's got, if he's got the 2.5 pounds of cocaine and all those pills and all, judge ain't got a choice. He's got to give him 10.
If the judge actually said that, you know, if it was up to him solely, that Diddy would be already be in jail, that right there could be grounds for a mistrial.
No, they already tried that. They said no. They said no. They already tried it. No,
you know what? A judge ain't allowed to say anything like that. Like
the other judge said no.
The only thing
the judge said the press took it out of context. Is what
the judge reads the law to the jury. They go in, make the decision. They come out. The judge interprets the decision. That's all that happens.
Yeah. Well, no, judge had the right to say stuff. Don't ever think judge don't have the right to say things. Judge can say all kind of stuff.
They got to be careful, really careful on what they say.
Well, they got to be careful about some things, but some things they can just go ahead and say whatever the hell they want to say.
Trial like this, they can't offer their personal opinion on anything.
In Diddy's case, I figure this judge, old dickhead. Diddy's looking at 20 years. If they give him anything, if they give this judge anything, Diddy's getting 20 years. And then now what may happen after all this is settled, Diddy's in jail, the appeal, because it'll be a different judge, might get it reduced. But I don't think
they'll get 3.5 to 5. They'll appeal it and he'll get nothing.
No, they can't get 3.5 to 5. It's a Fed crime. It's not how federal works. This isn't. You're thinking like when you're in the state crime.
Well,
state and Fed's different. It has bare minimums, and the bare minimum for possession of cocaine is 10 years. The bare minimum for racketeering is 15 years. You can't get out of those. They're going to charge you with that no matter what. The only thing you can hope for is that you serve 2/3 of your term and you get out in 7 years. That's all you can hope for. Or somebody comes in and flips the case. That's a bad part for him. And this is a federal now. But there is a chance that parts of this jury will hang on different things, and he'll walk on those.
We'll see. You look at Harvey Weinstein. They found them. It was a mistrial in his rape case. One of them, anyway. So it's up to the individual case. It's a long road.
He's going to jail for life.
Oh yeah, definitely. He'll probably die there.
You know who's not going to jail for life is Cosby.
Cosby's out.
He's out, ain't he?
He's been out. He's been out. He got out on a technicality. Well, he got out on two technicalities. One, this was really the only woman that ever said anything. The others are kind of, sort of, maybe they could never get anybody to commit. So the supposedly other 84 women that said he did it, they could never get anybody to commit. But this one person, and then there was something they did wrong, and it was the prosecutor did wrong, so he got out. And they can't be prosecuted twice for the same crime, so he's out. And nobody else wants to bring charges again. Well, he's so old anyway. I mean, what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah, he's in his 80s, man.
I mean, he's fucking ancient. He's not doing anything. He's not going after no little girls anymore. And you know, I always had a problem with that whole thing. So I'm going to act like I'm a 25-year-old girl. I say I'm all cute and pretty. Guy says, "Hey, look, I need you to come up to my hotel room so we can talk about." I said, "Well, sir, I'm not allowed to go to people's hotel rooms. I'm sorry." And when he goes on and on and on, I'll be like, "No, I'm sorry." Because once they ask you to go to your hotel room, you're not getting the part. All you're getting is fucked. If you want to get a part, he'll tell you to go meet him at the studio in the morning because he wants you around the other people who are going to be involved. If he's asked you to go to your studio, no, he's looking for a piece of ass. That's why they always called it the what? Couch?
The casting couch.
Why they called it, and that's what Harvey Weinstein got in trouble for, the casting couch. And the bitch part is, and I heard several women that slept with him said that he shouldn't have been put in jail because he was just doing something that at the time was acceptable. Several big names that he helped get their careers going. So I mean, even they joined the casting couch and they were happy with it because it got their careers going. So I don't know how you do these now. And Diddy's account, Diddy just went hog ass wild, and that's another problem I seen with this. So these were supposed to be such a regular thing that they all had the same name, but listening today, they don't. Some people called them the King's Party. Some people called them the White's Party. They had two other names for them besides that, and I'm thinking, well, that don't fucking make any sense. The girl called them something different. I'm thinking, if you do,
the White's Party was all white clothing, so it was one of those deals. It wasn't necessarily the sex freak offs that he had on a regular basis.
No, that's what they're saying. They said all of them were freak offs, but they just all had different names. And nobody knew that in the beginning. Now it's kind of regular news now, but it's but nobody really. And the thing of it is, for the most part, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
this is the problem. You want to know what the real problem is with Diddy? This is what the real problem is with Diddy. There's no children, so no one gives a shit. Everybody was consenting adults, and everybody's like, who gives a fuck? Everybody there knew they were doing drugs. Everybody knew they were getting fucked. Everybody knew what was going on there. I have not seen anything where they said he was bringing children or anything like that. And the only thing I heard him bringing was hookers across state lines, and the hookers knew they were going across state lines. And how did he know they were hookers? He might have just been friends of his. He don't know they were hookers. They got to prove that.
Originally, they said that it was underage kids that he did, 13, 14, rappers.
Yeah, we see no evidence of that.
Justin Bieber. Bieber.
All that disappeared. Now you don't hear anything about it. And now it's just, he puts applesauce on his cheeseburger. Really? You talking about that in a trial like this? That means you got nothing. You got nothing, and you're boring the jury, man. They're gonna
that's why I figured they got the racketeering is pretty solid, and they got the possession. Other than that, I don't think they got anything. I think the rest of it's going to go the way. I think these two women, if they sue him civilly, I think they'll get a shitload of money. Just like we've seen in other cases, like the OJ case, and we'll see something like that. But as far as that goes now you got to remember he's going to get they're going to probably double his time served, so he'll get some time knocked off. But they want him to do 10 years. They really want him to do more, but they really want him to do 10. I don't know. It's a federal crime. Unless they can prove he wasn't racketeering, he did not have drugs. Other than that, he's going to probably go.
He'll get 5 and he'll do 3.5 with because he'll have to do 80% of the sentence with the truth. It's called
they don't do that in federals. You get whatever you get is what you get.
Federal law. It's called truth in sentencing that they require. As a matter of fact, they give money to the states to keep people in 80%.
If he gets 10, he's getting 10. That's what he's going to get. I've never seen a federal court yet reduce a sentence.
But
not even one time.
You know what? They can really fish around with it. between the
I don't think they can do that with him. With his celebrity, he's an influence on lots of young minds, and this is just these freak-offs are just one
Yeah,
bad
they want to give him whoever it is, the powers that be want him to do 10 to 20. He's going to do 10 to 20.
He's doing
It's just,
it all the time.
Hey, Roseanne.
And now there is a shot. They have went and talked to Trump. So they went and asked Trump to say, "Hey, pardon me." There's always that chance.
That would destroy his political career right there.
Yeah, I don't think Trump's going to be that dumb.
No, it'd take way more than that to destroy Trump, but it would just give the Democrats something to bitch about.
He raised
a
lot of money.
Trying to save him anyway. So.
He had fundraisers for Barack Obama, man. Where it was $100,000 just to get in. He raised a lot of money for them, man. So
that's what I'm saying. He's got. We know the Obamas are friends of his, and we know there's some other people friends of his. But if they were really good friends, he wouldn't be where he is right now.
Not doing Tootsie Roll any favors, though.
That's right. And that's the other thing. When he gets out of jail, that's going to be his new nickname is Tootsie Roll. That's what everybody's going to call him. Can you imagine the first interview he gets when he gets out of jail? Hey, Tootsie Roll, can we talk?
Hey, Tootsie Roll.
He's going to lose his fucking mind, man.
Ever since I heard that Tootsie Roll deal, I can't look at a Tootsie Roll. I
can't either.
I know I'll never be able to eat another Tootsie Roll.
It's ruined me for Tootsie Roll. I'm done. I can't do it.
Yep.
They
were good.
They used to have the big Tootsie Rolls that were this long.
Yeah.
They were still this big around, but they were that long.
They were still pretty thin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were still. Francine, where are you at? Oh, Rome. Well, nice to have you from Rome. What is it? What do you mean? What's all the thing about? Oh, well, you don't know about Diddy because you probably over there. They probably don't talk about him. He's just a musician that got his ass in trouble. That's all.
And he wasn't a very good one either.
I think in some places there'll be hung juries, so he'll probably get away with some of that stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think the drugs is nothing they can do about.
Yeah.
And now if the judge, maybe if he slips the judge 50 mil somewhere, the judge might say, okay, well, it's regularly 10. I'm gonna give you 5 because you seem to be cooperating and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and that'll be the end of that. But don't make him do the 5 then.
They don't care about P. Diddy in Italy, man. You got like Italian, you gotta say Mango. That guy Mango.
Mango man. It's Mango man. No.
Mango. That's actually some good music, Mango.
That would be oh man, what's his name? Flash Gordon movie. There we go. Peter, wait, I can't see. You know what? Hold on. Let me move my messenger. You know what? I'm gonna put my messenger on my phone. It's easier to read. Let's see what you got for us, Peter. Give me a second. Let us finish up on P Daddy, and we will start talking about what's going on in Iran, Israel, and the Ukraine and Russia. Yes. And, we still got a couple things we want to talk about. P Daddy, like, did he serve good food at these freak-offs? Yeah. I mean, why would you go to one of these things after you heard about him? Is my question. So you're Brock insane Obama.
He had these naked girls, and they would serve the food. Guys too, probably. I don't know.
Oh, I would imagine so. I would imagine that it was just as much gay. But what do you mean? But he might have been gay. There's a lot of talk about he was kind of gay. Well, he might want to go to prison if he's gay.
I've been to similar parties in New York City as an observer, because it's something that you want to see. It's something that's.
Mike, don't come out on the show, man. We don't want to hear that shit.
You only want to see once in your life, like oh my God, look at these guys. They're like swingers clubs and stuff, but people get down, man. That's what they do, This guy, we used to go to this club that had bands, like music, and the guy told me, he's like, come here on Tuesday night, we do swingers night. I'm like, what? He's like, come here as a bouncer and just hang out all night. He's like, you're gonna be blown away what you see, and I did. And he did, and he was right.
It gets crazy. I was just telling a friend of mine the other day, he just came into New Orleans. He's down in the quarter. He goes, I said, look, I know you're going to go hang out in the booby bars. I said, so when you're going down the quarter headed towards Esplanade, the ones on the right side of the street are safe. Don't worry about you going and hang out. He's like, well, what do you mean? I said, the ones on the left are transvestite bars. And I said, when you see the girl standing in front, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, my friend. I said, you won't be able to tell the difference till you're sitting there and the thing comes flinging in your face and you're like, oh shit, where the hell am I? He's like, really? I'm like, yes, really, man. That's just how it is.
I was raised as a gentleman, so I'm not really into that scene. I mean,
yeah, I'm not into that either.
I've had my era where I messed around, whatever, but like doing it with a bunch of people never really did anything for me.
Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of appeal.
Well, it's like, do you want a shot of whiskey from the bottle, or do you want it from the bar rag? You know what I mean? Like you could decide. But
I don't know.
I want to feel a little special, a little bit, tiny bit.
My wife just came up and said, y'all are all fucking assholes. None of y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about.
No, I didn't.
You hear? You see her? You fucking asshole. She said it again. Listen, she said it again. God, she's mean, man. My wife did. She's mean as hell, man.
No, she's just nice. How does she put up with your ass?
Oh, Sean said you're nice and you put up with my ass. Hey, I will bounce your ass, man. Oh, Jesus. I get abused in here all the time. See, ladies and gentlemen, abuse I have to put up with. Wife, friends. It's just abuseful. Fucking, what's his name? Teddy Dog, Peanut Butter Bar Boy. What's his fucking name? Yeah, no, we just were talking about it just 2 seconds ago.
Did he?
Tootsie Roll Boy. Yeah, there we go.
Tootsie Roll.
That's his new name for me. It's going to be Tootsie Roll Bar. It's like Amber Turd. It's going to be like Tootsie Roll Bar.
Going to sue him for trying to take their trademark.
I mean,
you know what? I heard somebody say, Diddy just lost that name. He said Sean Combs now. He's not going to be P. Diddy anymore.
Well, he's defended Sean Combs. That's why his court records, you're defending whatever his P this, P what, Diddy, Witty. Nope.
His corporate name really doesn't matter. He's going to jail, and no matter what he calls himself, it doesn't matter.
But so that's the thing, though. So should he go to jail for the freak out parties that everybody wanted to go to? No.
Well,
should he go to jail for prostitutes crossing lines? So they say he brought them, but you know what? Let's analyze this. So here's 5, 8, 10 prostitutes in LA or somewhere, and they're like, he's saying, we got a party going. Y'all want to come to the party? So it don't necessarily mean he brought them there. He just said, hey, y'all want to come party with us? That's a no-be. Really, truly, the only thing I see they got here is the drugs and the racketeering. And if they can get around the racketeering, they may have to drop the drugs. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What's that, Clara? He's a prick and probably needs to go to jail. But so far, a lot of what they said, when we all got the message, everybody sitting in here and everybody listening to this show, all 4 million, when we all heard this, there was kids involved. He was bringing kids over, and then Justin Bieber and Ashton Kutcher come out and say he's just as sweet as can be.
Yeah.
Now I think Ashton may have changed his mind.
Aaron, who's the one brother they were singing group brothers? Aaron something. Diddy got his hands hooked into him, and the dude overdosed and died.
Oh wow.
So I see. It's all weird. What's going on?
Aaron Carter. That was his name.
So you don't know. Yeah, he was part of it. We know both Ashton was, and we know Bieber was, and Bieber was pretty young at the time. He's a teenager. But Bieber said he didn't go to none of that stuff. He said he knew it existed, but he didn't go to any of it. And Ashton
how do you just know you didn't go to it though? I mean, come on.
Because it was probably going on in the house. And I bet you the little shit was getting a little booty from whatever little girl came over, whatever famous little girl came over. So, and then Ashton said he used to just come over for hang out at the parties. He said there was nothing funky wonky going on. He said that more than once. And but somebody, I can't remember which one of the two of them. One of them changed his story just recently. I'd have to go look it up to see who it was, but.
They're hoping that this video of him beating that girl up is going to be enough to ignite the passion in that jury to say he's a scumbag Scumbags deserve to go.
Okay.
Then
So okay, I agree. I agree. They can get him. They can get him on that.
when you're the
So
jury and the judge reads you the law, this is the law, and then you know in your mind it's got to fit with a passion. The guy's a jerk. He's an abusive bastard.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the law of what you're going in there for.
well, no,
And so,
he can get 3 to 5 for that. Plus, he can get well, you got to go to rehabilitation for it. But more than likely for that, he would probably get 2 years in rehabilitation, and they'd probably just give him 2 years with an ankle bracelet and 2 years of rehabilitation. So he'd get 4 years of aggravating life is what he would get if there wasn't
Okay,
nothing
now,
else.
here's the way I look at it. All the shit that's come out with Diddy did at his parties or whatever, who's not to say that someone's going to be waiting for him when he gets out of jail?
Well, that's another thing I was telling that to Linda. He more than likely, if he does win, somebody will probably put a bullet in his head.
Well, even if he does win, even if he doesn't win, if he goes to jail, he may find somebody in prison who doesn't like him, and he may not survive. That's
Well,
what
he's
happened to Dahmer.
protected in prison. I guarantee it he is.
I'm sure there's some people in the prison system that don't like him.
Yeah, as long as he's still got money, he can probably protect himself in prison. But
he's a high-profile prisoner. They're going to treat him differently than standard.
Yeah.
Standard.
no, you go look at. I'm telling you, go look at the 2 people they put in jail. They put the one guy in jail from he used to play for the Saints, then he went to play for California, and then they put that rapper in jail just recently. They put them in jail. They ain't giving them nothing special. Both of them are millionaires. Boom, they locked them down. Both were very famous, and they said, "Fuck you." Matter of fact, one of them sitting in isolation right now. They won't let him out because they say he's too much of an asshole. So they will. He's not famous enough. He's not like Governor Edwards. Now, Governor Edwards got one of those places where he went and his wife used to come visit him for conjugal visits and brought him food and shit. That's not where Diddy's going. He's not getting that.
He's not getting club fed.
No, he's not getting that. But he is luckier than the other 2 I was just talking about because they're in state jail and he'll be in fed jail, which is a much different jail.
When you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, it's a different world, man. And then, you know what? They should just feed him on a diet of Tootsie Rolls and then let him sit in there, cool his hair, cool his heels for a decade. But we'll see what happens, man.
That's funny.
I know exactly what's going to happen because I know the justice system. It happens all the time. There's no difference with any of these people, But whatever. He'll get what he gets.
Yeah, we'll know probably. I think they said they're going to let their case rest next week.
When I heard about the applesauce on the cheeseburger, I knew that was it.
Yeah, when they brought that out, it was like, you know what? I mean, they were really they had to have been grasping at straws.
Everything that those people had said had nothing to do with a crime.
Yeah, well, when I listened to that guy today who they gave immunity to, he had plenty enough to put Combs in jail for 10 years. So I don't, he's got enough. The jury, he's convincing. The jury's going to believe him. So they'll see. That's the problem here. Is what is all connected is what the real problem is. If
I agree, I don't think they're going to connect all those dots. I think they're going to get him on the drugs and the racketeering, or one of those only. But the sex
abuse isn't enough to put him in jail for. Well, abuse isn't enough to put him in jail. Assault. If that's a first time with assault, they usually don't give you jail. They usually give you like 2 years with the ankle bracelet and 2 years going through rehab or something like that. So he won't be able to do anything. Yeah, for assault
like that without breaking bones or anything like that.
No, down here. Matter of fact, none of the middle states, even California.
Where did they do that? What was that attack?
California, you get 2 years with the ankle bracelet and 2 years with rehab.
Was that DC or was that California?
DC the same as California.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, DC is the same as California. So you're gonna get the same. These are blue cities. That's how they're just gonna do it. They're gonna give you rehab. You're gonna give you the ankle bracelet. And they're gonna give you rehab. That's what they're gonna give you.
Speaking of blue cities, did anyone see the press conference from Karen Bass this evening?
Oh my God! I almost
what
puked.
A crock of shit that was! Jesus Christ!
I almost puked, man. That was pathetic. Oh no, it's all Trump. Everything. So when I talked to her 3 weeks ago, when I was 2 months ago when I was in LA, it was all Newsom. Now it's all Trump. This woman never takes responsibility for any fucking thing she does.
No, and
She's
the the takeaway I got was she's like, oh, there's no reason for the troops. There was only 2 square miles of the city that were vandalized. She didn't make mention one of the fact that several police vehicles were set afire, and then I don't remember exactly the exact phrase, but the days before Newsom said on the same television, or on the same subject, he said, it's just a bunch of teenagers standing around watching a fire. A bunch of teenagers standing around watching a fire. It isn't usually a police car that's on fire. It's usually a bunch of pallets and some boozes involved. So they're both.
Well, what's his name? That James Carville came out today and said he came down. He came down on the party with a fucking ton of bricks on 2 different articles. The first one was he said, "I'm sitting there the other day watching TV." He said Fox has got up different news stations saying it's a peaceful riot. And next to that, Fox has got burning cars, burning homes, people being beat up, places being robbed, graffiti going all over the place. He said, I don't understand my fellow Democrats. He said, now I can understand why people are leaving the party. And that girl that got killed, by the way, was going to leave the party. She was on her way. She had already voted against him, and she was going to leave the party and join as a Republican and run as a Republican. And so somebody assassinated her. In Tim Walz's territory of all places. Yeah. But it's not the only one. There have been a ton of Democrats leave the party to become Republicans or independents. I mean, even Jean Pierre left. When Biden's hand-picked woman that got up there and lied for him every day leaves, you got issues. And then you remember in the early days the Chinese girl that did all the benefits and did all the work for them to get money. She quit that weekend. She quit. She said, "This is bullshit. Our sponsor shouldn't be treated like this." And all this, like she quit. She's now a Democrat. I mean, I think she's now a Republican. And there's been a bunch more. So, they're having to deal with this. And the whole time, you got stuff like just what's up on our screen right now. These taxi cabs burning in the street. And how can you say it's peaceful? And if it was peaceful, people wouldn't be wearing masks.
When this event occurred, even though they're just taxis, I mean, later on there were police cars burning, but when this happened, this was like the first thing that went aflame in Los Angeles. That's when Karen Bass should have called Governor Newsom and said, "Hey, they're burning our city. We need some help." And then the Newsom would have probably said, "Well, let's bring the National Guard in." It's irresponsible to even think that the National Guard isn't required for this kind of. I mean, this is the stuff we saw in the 60s and 70s of the Watts riots and stuff in 68 and 70 up in that same area.
Yeah, this is bad. Should not be allowed, and Trump's not going to allow it. And the courts now went on Trump's side and said, "Hey, look, no, you can keep the National Guard. You had the right to put it there." So now the National Guard's there. The Marines make me a little nervous. Anytime we put real soldiers in, and these are battle-hardened Marines. These aren't just any Marines. These are the kind of Marines. See, that one Marine, they got him on video, that woman threatened him. He said, "Do you know how many people I killed in the desert with my bare hands?" This woman's face just went, woof. She just turned around and walked away. And he was being serious. He wasn't playing. You could see it in his face. He was being serious. He's like, "No, look."
I've known some Marines that they're serious dudes. One of he's passed now, Georgians. He was a force recon Marine. He went to Vietnam not once, not twice, not 3 times, not on orders, but volunteered for 3 campaigns in Vietnam. Nobody does that unless they're a super.
Oh yeah, no,
individual. This dude was badass.
I had 2 friends who were 18 that got stuck in Laos for three terms because they wouldn't come home. David told me, he said it's like an addiction, Joe. He said, once you know you're not going to get killed, it's like an addiction. I said, what do you mean once you know you're not going to get killed? He said, I knew I wasn't going to die. He said, Sam knew he wasn't going to die. And his other buddy, he said, the first day I seen you is one of the reasons I took a liking to you. He said, you look just like a young boy who had come in. He said he'd been there about 30 minutes ago, and his brains blown out. He said, so I just always felt the need to protect you. I was like, David, I can protect myself, you asshole.
Sparky said a couple things here that seemed to be interesting.
Get it up.
Yeah, I was about to comment on it.
It's funny, the legal definition of a riot changes on the political view of those involved.
Yeah, because this is an
I am
insurrection. This isn't a riot.
No, yeah,
He
it's
is a
definitely
retired
worse, man.
cop. Then he came back and said, so think of this. Cops are demanded to stop destruction of property, causing fear or cause a pause from the community from people posing a stance or threat or demonstration of action, but can't at times.
Yeah, very true words. I was gonna comment on the fact that Karen Bass also said that that we had it under control. We our local police had it, our county sheriffs had it, and
Well,
all.
the county sheriff, or I don't know if it's a county sheriff or the city
No,
police. One of them
it was more than
said,
that. It was more than that. They invoked what's called
no, that's not what I
mutual aid.
mean. That's not what I mean. One of them said they had it under control.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
not
remember which one it
Karen Bass
was.
said that they had it under control, and that
But
their
I'm not talking
police
about Karen
department.
Bass. One of the police officers, I can't remember if he was the head of the sheriff or the head of the city police, but one of them said they didn't need the National Guard. It was under control.
Oh, yeah, he's full of
Now,
shit.
a bunch of the other cops and the other guy, was either the sheriff or the local, he said no, we did not have it under control. So I think it was a city cop that said that. The sheriff, I
I'm
mean
going to prove it to you right now. They didn't have it under control. There's this thing through both police and fire services throughout the country called mutual aid, and mutual aid is what you can invoke that once all the equipment or assets in the area that are working on a problem, if they
Mike,
can't,
you got a song queued
they
up.
call mutual aid to bring in more equipment or more personnel.
Cue it up, baby. Don't play it yet, but cue it up.
LA Police Department
Ready, sir.
invoked 45 different state, county, and city departments besides their own local stuff, the chairs. That in itself, right there, says to anyone who's worked in first alert type of services. My best friend was a fireman for 30 years. I hung out with the firemen all the goddamn time. That is not a situation that's under control. That is a situation that is out of control. They went to 45 counties and cities for
If you
extra help.
ever see Joe in a uniform at a place, no, it's going to be bad. Really, really, really bad. There's going to be a lot of just things scattered around, not in a good form. I can't say the word because I get in trouble for that. But
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, they used all kinds of resources, Sparkies, from all around their area, and just the fact that they used 45 counties outside of their local area to request aid for this situation says one thing and one thing only:
so
not under control.
much
Not
time.
by
Okay,
any means.
we're going to start this topic and we're going to finish it when we come back. So I've been watching. So the FBI has found a lot of information out about the 2020 election, and they've also found some other information about January 6th. But we're going to get to that in a minute. So, what is an insurrection? So you're not from the country you're in. You're a foreign invader flying a foreign flag, destroying the flag of your enemy, spitting on it, saying "fuck Americans." That's an insurrection. Any way you look at that, that's an insurrection. So if you haven't seen, I'm gonna look for someone when we come back. The Jan 6 stuff is very interesting. First off, they're not these people are organized. The Jan 6 people were kind of goofy. I was watching some clips.
It was a mob. It wasn't a.
Well, some of them they get inside and they're all standing around like, now what the fuck we supposed to? Fucked up in the head. Anyway, a lot of it's not even close to the same thing. There wasn't near as much violence. BLM was way more violent than anything that happened at Jan 6. One day at BLM was more violent than what happened on Jan 6.
It's like,
We're not going to talk about the weeks that it went on for and how many people died, how many people got raped, how many businesses got destroyed. And it was very interesting in black neighborhoods how they were burning.
Yeah, rival businesses.
Asian businesses. That was interesting. So we're not, we'll talk about all that when we come back. Michael's got a song, so we're going to let him take us out and go on break. We got a couple promos when we come back. Well, welcome back, everybody. A little short break there because we're going to be talking some more about what we were talking about. I just rolled up some clips on the what was going on for Jan 6 and Nancy Pelosi while she was in the car with her daughter, which is very interesting in itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jan 6 was interesting in the fact that all I heard was insurrection. And first off, no one had guns. Okay. No one was even carrying knives or swords. No one was
So
chanting,
there was
"I hate."
one guy who was carrying a flagpole, but he got that from inside the Congress building.
But no one was chanting they hated America or burning American flags. They did steal Nancy Pelosi's computer. Somebody did anyway. I'm not sure who it was, but they didn't even burn the building or wreck the building up.
No.
The person who got killed,
that's
it
not so true.
wasn't.
They did do some wreckage. They went to some of the offices and did some vandalism, stole equipment, stole papers and paperwork, and I'm sure there's a few out there who stole a few tchotchkes. And they went to their favorite senator and grabbed something off his desk and took it with them, but nothing bad. Really.
Literally a bunch of kids who broke into the school over the weekend. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of kids going in there doing stupid things, taking pictures of themselves doing stupid things and documenting.
And then documenting it online and getting in trouble for it. Exactly.
But they were led in there. The cops led. They stood by and did nothing while they ran in there. Pelosi wanted the confrontation. She wanted to show these are Trump people.
Well, I think Mayor Muriel Bowers also wanted it.
We're gonna play this one first because this is gonna be the worst possible because this is, of course, MSNBC.
Oh.
So let's see what
Do you have a car and do you have a clean driving record?
Nobody cares what you want. Warren, get out of here.
So we're going to see some of what our witnesses saw on January 6th.
Okay. Oh, this is the JN6 committee. This is going to be good.
Please be advised that it contains graphic images and strong language, which many may find disturbing.
All right. You can see it there, boys. Let's go. Get it over there, friends. Okay. I don't find that disturbing.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on to Capitol now. I'll give you a boots on the ground update here in a few.
Multiple capital entries. Multiple capital entries.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We're knocking over the gate. All right.
That's kind of insurrection-like.
They said there was at least 30, 35 actors in there. Maybe FBI people or something else.
Bottles and rocks and hand-thrown chemical-grade fireworks.
Okay, still. Am I missing something here? Okay, here they go. All right, here we're getting inside. Look, the cops ain't doing that. He's walking around. Oh, somebody's spraying a cop.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
So they're saying a riot. They're not saying an insurrection.
Yeah.
Break some glasses. Okay, we got in. Gonna get that door open.
Okay, guys. Apparently, this tip of the spear has entered the Capitol building.
Okay, a couple guys running around. Some people screaming. Look at these people. They don't know what the hell is going on. It's like, where are they? I feel for the cop because he don't even know what the hell's going on. He's like,
If I give this up,
oh, look, the line was to the bathroom.
at least it's Capitol we can defend.
That's too much.
We gotta hold what we have.
Hands off!
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off!
Somebody got him a good flag.
1033. I repeat, 1033. West front of the Capitol. We've been pranked and we've lost our lives.
I'm trying to get a cops there in a minute. You're supposed to use the tear gas on the other people. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be.
Who wants the shields? Lock them together. Lock them together. Patriots, run! Jimmy, get him to the back. Get him to the back. Get him to the back. Let's get some fresh faces up front.
He's grabbing his mouth.
This shit wasn't even put on any like CNN or like that.
Where's the fire going and stuff?
This is the first time I saw that.
I remember this is MSNBC. This is as bad as you can get.
Holy crap.
Can I speak to Pelosi? Yeah, we're coming, bitch. Oh, my bitch, we're coming for you too, fucking traitor.
Oh, so fucking stupid.
They've got the gallows set outside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using them.
Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
Yeah, see, he doesn't belong there. Look at him. There's a couple of people that you've seen that doesn't belong there.
We fucking need to have 30,000 guns.
Nobody else was saying shit like that but him. They showed in some of the other videos, they showed 5 or 6 of them that were doing that when nobody else was saying anything. And what was funny is a lot of people just ignored them. They didn't think it was funny. They just saying, whatever, we're not doing that. What is this one?
We'll never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede. Walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down to the Capitol. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
You could have an ad hoc march.
Sounds like they're saying emo tap.
There's a crowd surge heading east.
Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're
No,
not,
he's
I'm
not.
going to be very...
He's not.
Capital. Yeah, I think that's where the rift began between him and Pence.
You're all walking over now through the tunnels. We need to move down. If we lose any more time, we may lose the ability to leave. So if we're going to leave, we need to do it now. We lost the line. We lost the line. All PD, get back. All PD, get back and do it for back.
H208 with 4 members. The door's barricaded. There's people flooded the hallways outside. We have no way out.
Officers still remaining on the house floor, so we can secure the members on the other side. Copy. Get them up! Get
You've seen that part. Really? I didn't know that. 9 people died?
And if I win, I will be looking very, very with an apology.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I think the only person that died was that
I thought it was one
young lady.
It's all, yeah, that's what it's on there. There's one person that died, and they didn't have nothing to do with that. Okay, let's
Well,
say
there
this.
was one Capitol police officer that died like 4 or 5, 6 days later that they tried to blame was on the stress of the event. And I'm like, bullshit. He's a career. The guy had been, in that job for years and years and years. A career policeman, 20 years on the job, whatever it was. That kind of stress did not cause his death. Please.
Hey, Heidi.
All right, let's see about this one. Let's find the play button.
This is a good one.
Let's find the play button. I lost the play button. Let's go. It's down here. That's why. Okay.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
That
resources.
is not a question of how they had, but they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just
But you
prepare.
never did take responsibility, did you?
Nope.
She never did take responsibility. We'll play that again one more time.
Responsibility. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol
Sounds like
Police?
Joe Biden.
I mean, the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had, but they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Well, Nancy Dogface, bitch.
Crazy lunatic.
You know, the thing about it is that clearly shows that she was responsible, but yet she instead of taking responsibility,
I don't think just
they
her.
started the Jan 6.
Ariel Barrows is in just as cahoots with.
Well, there's only two people that can call the National Guard out, which is her and the mayor. That's it. Nobody else has the right to call the National Guard out. Trump probably could have overrode it, but he didn't because he didn't want to make a big deal out of it. They should have called, and he had 10,000 troops in the city. He asked her, "Do you want me to deploy them?" She said,
"No,"
with a big emphatical kind of one of those "fuck you" no's.
Yeah,
and this is what happened. Now the truth's going to come out now because they can't. You know, before they had control of everything, so you couldn't get it out. Now they've lost control, so it's getting out. You know, it's slowly but surely being pushed out to the public, and the public's finding out that it was a complete lie. Now we find out that the Chinese,
Mariel Bowers, she's
100,000 fake driver's licenses the Chinese put in the election, and that's about what he lost by, because he only lost by, I think it was 40,000 in the Rust Belt states. And so that was all he needed to win. And of course, they won. So, and then they showed they actually got, I didn't even know they had this. They got clips of them pulling out. So first they call a pipe break, and then when everybody leaves, they actually start pulling out ballot boxes from underneath a desk. They actually got this on video.
Yeah, there's one in Pennsylvania, very similar. I forget what similar thing. An emergency was called, or something to that effect. All but the Democratic counters were evacuated from the building, and then as soon as those people left, there was like 3 or 4 people with huge, like those big mail duffel bags full of assumably ballots, and dragged them into one of the Pennsylvania counting offices. Because Trump
that was out east. That was out east, Jay.
Huh?
That was out eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was Philadelphia.
I don't know.
It was disgusting. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even believe it.
I don't know. It's but you know what? Maybe it was a good thing he did not win.
Otherwise, we
can't go back,
man.
You can't go back. We got to go forward, and we need to focus on now and going forward. We know what the Democrats are capable of. We've seen it, and they lie, they cheat, they steal. They don't care. They'll do whatever they have to do to win.
Yep.
And they're not even good at it. You know what I mean?
It's very similar to, even if it wasn't so paralleling real life, it would be even funnier. But Black Sheep, the movie, deals with the same thing, where the Chris Farley's brother is running for governor of the state, and I forget what state, Washington State or something like that. But the incumbent mayor or governor rather is trying to win too, but she's doing backhanded things to keep the votes. And one of those was that they registered all the dead people of all the counties nearby to vote. And Chris Farley finds this out and then gets, calls her out on it, she loses the election. We kind of see that this movie came out first, and so it kind of predicted this kind of situation. We basically have the equivalent of dead people voting to keep Democrats in office for God knows how long.
I think that all this is just background noise compared to what we're facing right now. I think that there's these terrible things that are leading up to other things that are worse. And then, like you said, Jay, it is out of control because you can't gain control over what's going on right now.
No.
There's too many, like with Iran, their demands is they want to hold Israel accountable. They're not going to stop until they hold Israel accountable.
Accountable for what?
Also for the war.
Living shit out of.
Also,
they started it by letting their proxies launch them.
Also, the ones who support Israel, which is us. You know what I mean? So they, Trump gave him 2 weeks. Trump said, "I'll make my decision within 2 weeks." It ain't going to be 2 weeks because Israel is decimating the place. There's not. They just need the big bomb to get down into the mountain. Really, that thing's 300 feet into the earth. It really needs to be an inside demolition job. You know what? You need Luke Skywalker to drop a bomb down that vent and have it go all the way down into that thing and blow it up.
So when we used to go to the bombing derbies in Fallon, Nevada, this is what they would do for stuff like this. They would come over. Back then, we didn't have these big bombs, by the way. So they would come over. They'd find the target. They would drop the bomb. The bomb would blow a hole. 2 more bombers would come in behind it. Boom. They were A-7 Corsairs, by the way. Boom, 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 boom. The hole would get wider. And then after about 6 or 7 of these, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this fucking bomber comes up. Whoa, boom! It blows the living shit out of everything. I mean, literally blows the living shit. Because what they did is they bombed down 300 feet to what the target range was. And this other bomb had a 200-foot range. So not only was it past the depth it needed to be, it had a concussion force that just went through the entire tunnel system, letting it be wasted. It's badass. Today they can do it easier with 3 bombs.
The bomb that they need, we can't give them because you need a B-2 bomber to deliver it, number one. And then number 2, it's ordnance that they've never used before. And we're not about to hand over weapons like that. So we need to drop that bomb. But I want to say something real quick.
No, I disagree. I think if we show them footage of Vietnam, you've seen footage of Vietnam with our carpet bombing program. I mean, just a wave of bombers goes over an area that's green, and then seconds later, it's now red and on fire. I think we can show them that and say, look, we still have this kind of stuff. Give it up. You're toast.
Yeah.
There should be no negotiating with Iran. Period.
Trump kind of said how it was going to happen today.
I want you to watch this. This is the state media when they blew it up.
Oh, I love this. I love
this.
It's
great.
Look at her talking shit.
We're talking now. Oh yeah. They
crap. Look at her.
Trump said. This is what Trump said today while he was getting on the plane.
We will destroy America and Israel.
I know. As we blow you the hell up. Trump said more than likely the Israelis would use assault teams. He said they have the best assault teams in the world, and they would more than likely use assault teams.
Are one of the best groups out there.
Got to be demolition. You got to get in there and do it. You don't need much once you're in there, but you got to get in there.
Yeah, well, if anybody can get in there, Israelis can. They've getting into things nobody else could get into.
You need James Bond.
They just seem to know where everything's at. I mean, they seem to know where everything is in fucking Iran. And the only reason the Ayatollah is still alive is that Trump asked him not to kill him.
Yeah, ain't that
that's
crazy?
The only reason. Yeah, that's the only reason he's still alive. Or he'd be dead. So I'm pretty sure that if he don't straighten out, he will be dead.
Their
of course, I don't know now because he's over there with France and them. France over there sucking his dick.
Demands where Trump's not going to go for it, and then Israel ain't going to go for it. So whatever, man.
Well, that's the whole thing when they decided, because he was, Trump was with the UK guy the other day. They cut a pretty good deal. And he was going to this meeting, and they had already said, both of them kind of said to the media, well, if the United States is involved, the deal's not going to be worth anything, because if the U.S. says fuck you, the U.S. means fuck you. We're not going to care what Germany and the UK and France says. We're just going to go blow something up, or we're going to let Israel blow something up. And if you go fuck with them, then you fucking with us. So it's not a good deal because we're not scared of any of them fuckers. Now,
the problem
on a
is
side note, the Chinese have moved 2 of their carrier groups out of the Pacific and are headed to the area where we are.
Big deal.
I'm scared, Joe. I'm scared.
I am
They're the king of fucking drones, man.
Today, the U.S. Navy increased their activity in the Mediterranean, going from 1 guided missile cruiser to 5. The Nimitz is moving from its position in the Chinese Sea, which is a Pacific asset, is moving towards that area. So, that all doesn't sound very good. The more stuff we have over there, the more chances we have. Even though we have very experienced fighter crews. Most of the other fighter crews out there, Chinese, Russian, whatever, they're not experienced. They're more likely, as many planes as they have down there flying in the air, someone's liable to accidentally start World War III.
That's the bomb that they need to drop.
Oh, nice.
Mother of
and
all bombs.
that bomb ain't going to do it by itself. They're going to have to drop and then drop another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Moab.
No, this is the big bunker buster. The Moab is more of a fuel air bomb, FAE bomb.
They said this one can go 200 feet, which means it can probably go about 400 feet.
Yeah, so it can go down, then it ignites when it's down there. If they drop 2, that's pretty much it for that facility, right?
Well, you drop the smaller one first to soften up the ground, and then you drop the bigger one second to get into the deepest part of the bunker.
Made by Boeing, I don't know, guys. Boeing, you know what I mean? Like,
oh shit, it might fall out the fucking sky with Boeing.
Well, it's actually made to explode. So they're halfway there.
Well, that just means it won't explode. That's all that means.
So this is how a bunker buster works.
Very cool.
Right? And then pretty simple. I mean, it goes down to the ground and explodes.
Well, we've been having bunker busters for a long time. We've really refined them since the Iraq War.
Oh, God.
Normally, the ones we have, normally they could drop down 75, 80 feet. These go like hundreds of feet, but we need to drop it. Israel can't do it. It's not something they can do.
The White House told the media to get off of the Iraq. There wasn't no weapons of mass destruction. Said first off, the amount of nerve gas and other mustard gas and all we found over there would easily be considered. And then they said, what's his face itself was a weapon of mass destruction. How many people were killed in Iran? Yeah, that's a little baby one.
2 baby.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, they were talking about would it work on a B-52 today. I don't see why it wouldn't work on a B-52.
Well,
B-52 carry that size ordnance.
Flying wing.
Yeah, B-52 is bigger. Fuck that. That's a bigger. It's an 8-engine monster jet. It can carry what? It's 4 or 6 full-size nuclear weapons. It's a beast of a jet. And it's what? How many years old now? 62. It's old.
I mean, it's been out a while. I mean, I think it's upgraded its engines and probably inside.
Nah, you know what? My mom's friend Artie used to work. He was a tech writer, and so he wrote the tech manuals for the B-2, and that was like the 80s, man. I remember that was a big deal because it was like all secretive and shit. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't even know why they need a B-2. Just use the B-1. I mean, the B-2 seems to be overkill. It's not like they can shoot it down or anything, so it seems to be a little bit of overkill. But hey, whatever they want to do.
Well,
I guess they want to check the system out and see how it works.
Airspace confined. It's completely surrounded by our Navy. By the way, people.
Yeah, you're not going to hear anything either when this thing comes. It's just going to be.
The U.S. moves its newest supercarrier right to the Mediterranean. There we go. We're there, baby.
Well, the Nimitz is on the way there too. So
Nimitz,
yes, which was supposed to be getting retired. Nimitz.
Yeah.
Think about it. They started stripping this ship down, and then they had to start putting it back together. I guess they just went ahead and upgraded it while they were doing it, which means they could
serving on it when it was decommissioned.
Oh no, it was just decommissioned like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, and they didn't even want to do it then. They were him and her, but the Enterprise was decommissioned a couple of years ago. It's already being stripped down.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen? Because if Iran says "F you," they're going to get it in their face.
Yeah, but I'm confused about something. So when I was on a Nimitz, when I look up a Nimitz, it usually says 80 or 90 planes. We carried 128 jets. Yep. I don't know, plus other stuff. So I'm not sure where these actual. Oh, I probably just got my ass in trouble. It's
Doesn't the aircraft carrier have like 5,000 crew, something like that, right?
Yep. Well, the Nimitz carried 5,500, so the Nimitz carried.
Yep.
Wow, that's like a small city, man.
Yes, it is.
A small. Oh man, we had 2 bowling lanes on board. Yeah. We had 2 different commissaries. They actually had a little restaurant you could go to because there was 1,800 women on board. Actually, on mine it was 2,000.
Was there like bars, clubs? You guys booze?
They actually had a bowling alley that had like a club in it, and then they had a little rec area. But so it was funny when we were in U.S. waters, we had to drink 2-3 beer. Once we left, they switched it, so you had full strength. Yeah.
They were called Steel Beach picnics.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
You were allowed 2 beers, and I saw drunks give up their paychecks for 2 more beers. Other guys who didn't drink. And that's the truth.
It gets a little crazy out there.
You know what else we did out there, Joe? Like every other month, we had smokers. We had 26 ships in our fleet, our thing, and every ship brought over 2 boxers, and they would set up 3 rings in the hangar bay, and they would have smokers all day, all night.
Yeah, because when you're see, people don't understand. When you're in duty and you're out there and it's 6 months is going by, on your 7th month, you're kind of like, fuck.
Yeah,
because what happens is they start slowing down your duty calls because they don't need you as much. You're doing practice runs all the time, but eventually they're like, well, because it costs fuel and bombs and shit, and it starts wearing out the crew. So they start slowing it down. You're doing less. We used to sit on the back of the carrier and take pictures, but a friend of mine got us in trouble because he had his flash on, and they flashed, and the guy thought it was the little snowball thing, like it killed us. And so after that, they banned it. You couldn't sit back there with a camera no more. You had to go in the front.
I got to tell you one quick story. I love this story about, we were in Diego Garcia, and we were, this was when I was on the subtender. And that first night we pulled in, we were catching sharks. Okay. No shit. And we got a shark on board. And some jackass grabbed a little set of pliers to get the hook out of the shark's mouth. No shit. And
he lost a hand.
The officer of the deck saw that, and that was it. No more shark fishing. But yeah, it's a true story. Sorry for boring you on that one. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of assets in those waters now.
There's a lot of shit over there, man. They were talking about all the missile cruisers we got and stuff.
Could do something stupid and cause a war if there's too many planes and equipment flying around, and that's what's happening now.
They have gotten.
Do you think actually China's going to step in for Iran?
That's a big step in.
They've been
sending another aircraft carrier.
Yeah, they've been sending stuff over there by plane, now aircraft carrier. So
now U.S. sends second aircraft carrier to the Middle East. But there's a lot of stuff steaming that way right now. Why would they? Just for a show of strength against Iran? Really?
I'm sorry. I think the Nimitz is over there to keep an eye out on the Chinese Navy, to be honest with y'all.
It probably is, because we don't need the George Washington the George Bush to be. It can stay where it's at. They'll use the Nimitz for that. Nimitz holds more jets anyway, so.
So in a little tiny amount of space, you got Russia, China, the United States, and everybody else and their cousin, all with their Navy bumping around on the water, flying up in the air, flying missions in the air. It doesn't take much to get into an incident where it's going to trigger one to the other. I mean, we're already there. I feel like this isn't going to stop because I also feel like Trump wants this. So he wants to take Iran down. It's been a sore spot for a long time with him and a lot of other people, man. And now is the time to do it. You're not ever going to have another opportunity like this. Never. So now is the time to disarm those bastards. They threaten murder against the U.S. and Israel. They sponsor terrorism around the world. They are evil, nasty, horrible people that need to be stopped. Not the Iranians, the damn government, the theocracy. It needs to be stopped. Whoever, and then you know what? It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Right.
I've learned that in this life. I've learned that.
And here's another thing that I can't figure out. Why can't they send in 2 squads of Delta Force, sneak in, kill the bastard, and get out?
Kill who?
Do that, but it
The
doesn't.
Iran dude.
What has to happen?
No, they don't want him dead. That's the problem. They don't want him dead.
Iranian people have to stand up for themselves. They have to decide to take over the regime.
The Mossad was going to go in there and take him out. They stopped them. Trump stopped them, apparently.
Yeah. Trump wants this to end peacefully. He wants to bring this. He would rather that the people just fucking took over.
Yeah,
and that was
people Iran to revolt against their.
Well, that's not what's going on. So he's like, if we got to go in, we got to go in. But Trump don't want to go in. This would, out of all the things Trump's done, he's been an asshole about. This would actually hurt his path because nobody in this country wants a war right now. Nobody.
He's doing it right. He's giving them every opportunity.
He's doing it right.
And he said total surrender, unconditional surrender.
Yeah,
that's what his terms are.
I agree with that 100%.
Their terms are we hold the United States as war criminals along with Israel, and then we get punished. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
They're trying to not take blame for the war starting. They're the ones who, if they gave out specific orders or just funded them, either way, if they gave orders to their proxy terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, or just the fact that they're paying them to, support them, they're responsible for this war because these people launched missiles into Gaza, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now? How long is it? So the only way to end it, I agree with Michael, is, the Iranian people have to revolt against the government, and we have to take out their military assets with the help of our friends from Israel.
Yeah. Well, we can't do anything. Israel has to do it.
That's what I'm saying. And let Israel do that. But then the people of Iran have to stand up for themselves and be like, look, fuck you, Mr. Khamenei. Get the fuck out. The news coming, it may be propaganda, but the news coming out of Tehran is the people are backing the Shah or whatever his freaking name
No, they're
is.
not. No, they're not.
That's our news. Their news that they're trying to push out is that they're not responsible for the war. They're not enriching uranium. Yes, you are, but you're not at bomb grade level yet. And we didn't start this war. It's all bullshit lies. They cannot be trusted. They cannot be brought to it's a terrorist organization. We don't negotiate with terrorists. It's look, you step down and capitulate, or we kill you. Those are the choices.
They want the bomb, and the bomb is power. I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to pack missiles with dirty bomb, with nuclear material.
They can't even be allowed to have nuclear power plants. That's what
I'm saying. Like they're going to attack. I feel like this weekend they're going to attack Israel like that. They've been using that super fast Mach 13 missile, and then they used all the junk first. Now they're getting down to their better stuff.
Yeah.
I think what happens if they load all that nuclear material into these weapons and shoots it into these places? You're going to make these places radioactive. You can't just wash this stuff down so easily. I think they're going to go there. I think they're being backed into a corner. You can't let an enemy linger. You got to do it fast and precise and be done. You can't wait around. If you wait around, they're going to gain strength, or they're going to hit you in a way that you didn't think about.
Yeah. Well, that's the number one philosophy of almost all Chinese martial arts is in the Chinese martial art movies, even made in Hong Kong, made in America, doesn't matter where they're made. There's always 5 or 6 minute long fights. You don't want to be in a fight that long. Ask any experienced special forces guy. You want to end the fight as fast as possible. That's why almost every martial art, whether it's a soft or a hard style, there's a bone break. There's quick, easy ways to go, snap, oh, sorry, fight's over. I'll see you later. That's what we got to do with Iran. It's either you back down and, you know, we start maybe lifting some sanctions and you start being a good country, or you die. I think Joe said that. I've been saying it since I was 18 years old. The country needs it needs an ass whooping. We had to do it to Iraq. Look at how cool Iraq is. They're not even involved in this.
It's well, you know, they tried to blow up one base. We got a base in Iraq. They tried to blow it up, and which is almost grounds for us to go in. So, but really, for the United States to get involved, they have to hit a United States asset, attack a carrier,
or mainland USA.
And you'll know if there's some bullshit going on if they attack a carrier and something hits it. We'll be like,
the embassy got messed up over there.
Well, it's out. We don't have an embassy in Iran anymore. We took that bitch out a long time ago.
No, but we have
we took the one out of Israel too. Just the other day, I think yesterday, we told them to come home.
We have bases close by to Iraq, and they can hit our.
We have bases in Iraq. We have base in Iraq. We have base in Saudi Arabia. We have base in Israel. I think we have more than one. We have assets there. I mean, we have. So, how many airplanes do you think the United States has?
Carrier forces only, or Air Force?
All together, everything. All military.
I'd say 5,000 strong Air Force, and
what do you think, Sean?
I'm going to say close to 15,000 planes.
Sean got it. Currently, we have 15,500 planes we can put into the sky.
Is that just
three times? That's everything. That's everything we have.
How many just fighter planes?
Well, if you go with the older versions from F-16, F-15, and the F-35F and the 122, right around 9,000.
I was close with 5.
Yeah, and so, but you got to remember some of those other planes are bombers, and they're just as deadly. So, when I heard the number today, I was like, wait, how many? I gotta go fucking check this out. And right now we are deadly. And China's Navy is only like 30 ships larger than ours, and it comes right down to it. Actually, way more.
How much of those air power do we have that is USA land-based? Most of our bomber forces.
Well, actually, come to find out, half our bombers are not even in our country. They're on islands, actually.
Really?
The ones they're talking about sending to over there to Iran or parked on some island somewhere. They said the name of it, I just can't remember it.
Midway.
I was like, no, it wasn't Midway. Some little island I never heard of. And a couple of them were parked on islands I ain't never heard of. I was like, what the hell? Plus, I didn't know this, but we have stuff in the South China Sea. No wonder fucking China's pissed. So they're building islands out there. We already got stuff there. And then we got stuff in the Philippines.
Yeah, we have lots of bases.
And we have stuff in the Japan and Taiwan.
We've got a combination of U.S. Air Force and naval forces, and probably Marines throughout the Philippine Islands.
What time is it?
It is 11:42 on my time.
Okay, we're good. I was just seeing if we had a break, if we were on the break.
Yeah,
I don't know. We have a lot of stuff spread around in a lot of places. We can attack from a lot of different directions.
Well, I mean, if you look at any of the maps, if anyone was watching the news, any news service probably showed you the same map. The entire Middle East is surrounded. The Mediterranean is filled with Navy stuff. The Red Sea, Saudi, all in the Black Sea. We have stuff all around it, and all of them can strike Iran from where they are.
So Pravda asked Putin if Russia had the most advanced military and the biggest military in the world, and Putin said no. He said that honor goes to the United States. He said not only do they have the largest, most advanced, but they are the most well-trained because they've been fighting wars for 6 decades. He said no one should ever start a fight with them.
No.
His words.
If you get in a fight with someone else, make sure they're your friend.
His fucking words. He was like sucking Trump's asshole there, buddy.
Yeah.
And I think that was a warning going to Xi Jinping. Don't fuck around with Taiwan. You're going to get killed. So Taiwan, he's building a ghost fleet. Like the one America's got? Yeah, they're building it. It's going to be a huge one, too. It's It's going to be able to surround the whole.
What's that? What's that?
Oh, Ghost Fleet is ships that don't have people on board.
Drones.
No,
really?
They're drones, but they're big as destroyers. They're big.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, they're like FFG size.
These are big old these things
fast
are,
frigate cruiser kind of things, and guided missiles and shit.
and so 6 of them are going to be drone carriers carrying 1,000 to 1,500 drones per carrier. Can you see that in the water, man? I mean, that's out fucking outrageous. But that's 6,000 drones and 4 carriers. You mean you didn't know what that shit got hold of your ass? Even we would have a problem with that. I mean, shit. I don't even know if we could shoot off a thing like that. Oh,
maybe
they had
trying to give us the bloody nose so we can go to war and kick their ass.
They showed China's new big ass drone plane flying around today. That thing's supposed to hold 500 or 600 drones itself.
Isn't it funny how it kind of looks exactly like the U.S. Marines Predator drone?
It's well, I didn't see the drones. I just seen the ship that's carrying the drones. So what we got here? There's a couple of these articles. What is this? Get back. That's not what I wanted to think. That's not the article I opened up. You know, sometimes Yahoo and MSNBC think they can do whatever the hell they want to do. So it's this one was an interesting article. If I can get it to come on the page and stay on the page, I keep getting commercials for some reason, and I got to find out what this commercial, how these got on my computer. They got to go. Well, not what I wanted to see. This one is F-35 devastates Iran's army with 330 missiles. Wow. So it just rolled on up and just let hell rain on these guys' heads.
333 missiles from one plane?
No, I guess a group of them rolled up. It's not saying.
No.
It just says, where is it? Where's the article? Let me go back and find it. Da 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 da. Okay, where'd it go? And then how far did I go?
Well, don't we have air security over there now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, the entire area is surrounded by 5 carrier groups.
F-35s devastate
missile cruisers in the Mediterranean. There are now 5 big
which makes me nervous. F-35s devastate Iranian army with 330 missiles in single attack.
Wow.
So these are all live military airplanes, large transport planes, basically going back and forth to Israel. I mean, they're dropping stuff up, loading stuff up. And
from China. Yeah, we're gonna have to start shooting them down.
Oh, this is U.S. This is our U.S. planes going
to Israel. Okay, sorry.
Bringing materials over there. You know what I mean? And then coming back around again, delivering stuff.
It's they're just basically wreaking havoc over there.
The software tells you like what everything is, what kind of plane, whatever. And this big C-17. So this is the Globe Masters. So these are the big ones that can carry basically tons and tons and tons of stuff. Yeah. So I mean, but Israel needs missiles. More stuff that they're gonna, like the Patriots and all that. But,
yeah, it says U.S. allies issues update on China's double aircraft carrier moves in the Pacific. Them things don't even look like. I hate to look China. I like you Chinese and I like Chinese people, but those little fucked up aircraft carriers, we'll sink them bitches in about a half hour. Hold on, let me put this on screen. This is pathetic. This ain't an aircraft carrier. This looks like something we had back in the 60s or something. Here, move it up for a second, Mike. Let me throw this up here right quick. Let me see. God damn, I keep losing the room. I got too much shit up. Come on, room, open up.
There it is.
So this is their 2 big aircraft carriers. Now remember, one of them is an old Russian aircraft carrier that they put a new top on.
Well, how pathetic are their jets? That must they be to have that lip on that rises up, that which is reminiscent.
Well, some of our allies do that too. The Brits do that.
Yeah, the Russians do that.
But do you know right now we have more aircraft carriers than all the navies that are afloat?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's outrageous. I mean, that's this
And
is junk.
we have the battle
Okay.
groups to go along with them. You know,
And what's
a
the
couple
killer about it?
torpedoes, that thing would be at the bottom of the ocean.
I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you.
No, I don't even think they'll. I don't even think they'll waste a torpedo. I think they'll shoot a torpedo-launched missile like a Sea Lancer, a Harpoon, or maybe even a Tomahawk.
They can launch torpedoes from airplanes so easily, and then I mean, we have airplanes specifically for launching torpedoes.
But what the airplanes and the helicopters don't have, Michael, the submarines do. Our submarines have a type of torpedo. The Harpoon and the Sea Lance both start out as torpedoes. If they miss their target as torpedoes, well, one of them does. The other one it just immediately comes out as a missile. I think the Sea Lance comes out immediately as a missile and can attack both shore targets and ships. But the Harpoon can start off as a torpedo. If it misses its target, it launches into the air and goes somewhere else and drops back into the water as a torpedo if it doesn't find a target again. So it's a triple threat, fire and forget type of thing. We have some outrageously cool equipment, and the Harpoon has probably been advanced upon. Harpoon, what I'm talking about, is from the 80s. What we have now is probably 40 years better.
Yeah, let's see. We know the Chinese Navy. See, they always say this. Well, the Chinese Navy has the U.S. by hell count. That's fine, but that's not include NATO ships. And then it no longer has it by hell count. Let's see. Closely monitored by Japan, a U.S. treaty ally comes as U.S. redeploys one of its two aircraft carriers, the USS Nimitz, to the Middle East. So Japan's keeping an eye on you, asshole. So's the Philippines. See, that's the thing for them. Before they even get to us, they got to deal with our allies, and they're allowed to do harm to them before they can even get to us. Neither aircraft carrier even quality is even as good as the Nimitz class carrier, and has big vulnerabilities. The new carrier is going to be more like a Nimitz class carrier, but still not as good as the new carriers that we have. Well,
Yeah, the Nimitz could probably take 3 direct torpedo hits before it goes down. Maybe more.
I don't know about that. They're kind of old. Nimitz is old. It really is.
Yeah,
but they're compartmentalized.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it would take a while for it to go down, but they're tough bastards to sink.
Let's see. Let's put this up here right quick.
Harpoon is a universal American anti-ship cruise missile that is the most successful anti-ship missile in the world. Over the last 40 years, it has been constantly upgraded and has many modifications. Harpoon can be launched from surface ships, submarines, coastal complexes, and various aircraft. The Harpoon missile was developed by McDonnell Douglas and is currently produced at the Boeing Corporation Enterprises. The small-sized rocket is capable of reaching subsonic flight speeds, and the missile is capable of achieving firing range of 90 to 280 kilometers. The Harpoon missile has a modular design and consists of 4 compartments: the instrument compartment containing the guidance system equipment, followed by the warning compartment, the main engine compartment, and the tail compartment. 4 X-shaped wings are installed in the middle part of the rocket body. The wings fold and unfold after launch.
Look how everything just opens up on it. It's like I'm going to fucking
part of the rocket body between the lower pair of wings. The Harpoon's engine, the Teledyne CAE J402 turbojet engine, was designed specifically for this rocket. The engine provides stable flight at speeds of up to 850 kilometers per hour and altitudes of up to 900 meters. For launch from submarines or surface ships, the corresponding versions of the rocket are equipped with a solid propellant launch booster fixed in the tail section. Harpoon is one of the few modern American missiles that is not adapted to be launched from cells of Mk-41 vertical launcher. The operator can launch Harpoon by bearing and range, or only by bearing to the target if the target is unknown. In case of firing by bearing and range, the operator programs the activation time for the homing head prior to the launch, ensuring it activates in immediate vicinity of the target. This reduces the likelihood of detection and possible interference with Harpoon.
I think they missed.
The radar homing head searches for a target using a small, medium, or large scanning sector to increase efficiency of the shooting.
No, they didn't.
Small scanning sector is used when firing at a group of targets at a short range. The effectiveness of the homing head decreases with the increase in distance. If the target is not detected, a transition is made to a larger scanning sector, and so the homing head works until the target is detected and captured. The homing head does not have selective properties, so the harpoon hits the first target it locks on. When
Yeah,
firing
just hope it's
at a
not one of
bearing
yours.
only,
Yeah, they're
the homing
badass
head
missiles,
activates
dude. I'm
at a
telling you.
set distance to avoid hitting any other ship. When a group target is attacked, the homing heads of different missiles are switched on at different times, which makes it possible to bypass some ships and attack others. The missile can detect a destroyer at a distance of up to 40 kilometers and a boat at a distance of up to 18 kilometers. When a target is detected, Harpoon immediately aims at it and attacks. First, Harpoon follows the course that was previously set
All
for
right,
it
let's go.
at an
Time to move
ultra-low
on.
altitude and heading towards
So
the
the
target.
Sea Lance
At a
is the one with
certain
the torpedo
moment,
base that can become a missile.
Yeah. So we're going to actually switch topics here, guys. Okay, here you go. This is for Jay.
Oh, yay.
Okay, let's put it on. Let's see. They said it's going to revolutionize the world.
It's like
Let's
George
see.
Jetson's car. I'm hanging up.
And 2 decades later, the Wright brothers took humanity to merge
We
the
don't
two
care about all
technologies.
that. We don't care about all
Hi.
that. We don't care about
Welcome
all
to
that.
this week's episode of Design. Was the Aero look at this? But then we'll ask a
We don't care
spokesperson for
about that.
skydriving like
We don't
Japan
care
and
about that.
Asia,
Just show
where
the
the land
damn
is
thing.
small and it is difficult to land and take off from. They aim to go for commercial manned flights in 2023. The final product will cost around $400,000.
What?
They hope to decrease the cost by 2030. SkyDrive's unique selling point is that this product is one of the most compact and light
It
flying
looks
car
like a big
designs out
drone to
there.
me.
Yeah.
There are several companies developing similar technology, including Airbus, as well as Toyota. Porsche is teaming up with Boeing.
Of course,
And
Porsche
in
is going to
January,
look good.
Hyundai and Uber announced that they were collaborating on an all-electric air taxi.
Honda launched a rocket
For me
today and recovered
personally,
it.
after I took a flight in one of the first all-electric aircraft, the Alpha Electro, I could see that maybe small
Dude, we don't
dollars
care.
and simpler maintenance.
Okay.
Let's take a closer look at these points.
Yeah. Don't actually show the car. I want to see that.
Electric aviation has the promise of greatly reducing financial and environmental costs of existing air transport. According to the Australian Airport Association, the biggest airline costs are fuel and maintenance. Fuel makes up about 27% and maintenance 11%. The running costs of powering electric aircraft is low, and they are intrinsically less complex than their fuel counterparts too. Fewer moving parts and a simpler design mean less need for maintenance. For when aircraft can... That's not a flying car. That's just a passenger drone. Well, this is just the test phase. The next step will be to add wheels. A spokesperson for
they're going
SkyDrive
to put
explains,
wheels. All right.
quote, "Before developing a prototype with wheels, we would like to ensure that the incredibly difficult
Doesn't look
flight
bad.
function has been achieved as a first step. We aim at driving function from late 2020.
Like an air motorcycle. Or
In
an
other
airboat.
words, concentrate on the hard part first, getting the thing to fly, then stick the wheels on it later, a trivial task in comparison." They continue, quote, "We believe that we can add more value in places like Japan and Asia, where the land is small and it is difficult to land and take off from. They aim to go for commercial manned flights in 2023.
Seen all of that.
The final the code of the flying car, but no one has succeeded.
Jumping away up
It is
here,
less
fuck
efficient when this industry starts taking off. As Ella Atkins, a professor of aerospace engineering
We don't
aspect of
trust
the
you.
industry, and with the added benefit of being allowed,
This thing just keeps jumping backwards.
Electro Aero was the first to obtain approval from an aviation. The subsequent energy cost will be
Oh, did you see the new
no
bicycle
apps,
glider?
no account logins, or any
The
other
bike
hassles
plane.
that current electric vehicle sector has to deal with. Aviation can benefit
Yeah, I
from all of
guess
these
show me
lessons
this
learned
plane.
in the
Somebody
electric
say,
car
"Absolutely."
market and the mess of
Well, we
charging
wanted
standards.
to see the plane, but it's not going
It
to let
can
us see
also
the plane. So we're out of here. Yeah, see, this is Gordon Chang sounds alarm on suspicious Chinese cargo flights reported near Iran airspace.
Yeah.
11.
Maybe they're delivering parts for more drones, or they're delivering drones. What are they doing?
They need something. The F-15EX.
Chinese are a nuclear power. Maybe they send them some nuclear bombs.
No, yeah. If Iran's stupid enough to launch a nuke on Israel, Iran won't exist anymore.
No, it'll be a little glass spot for 80,000
Yeah, I'm
years.
pretty sure the United States will just wipe it off the face of the planet.
Yep.
The F-15EX is making U.S. enemies extremely nervous. Got some kind of new weapons package, huh? Don't tell you what
The
it is,
F-15,
though.
you said?
Yeah, EX is the brand.
Did you see that all of Iran's friends, the axis of evil friends, not one of them said we're willing to help. In fact, they said don't judge us from what they do. So they really don't have anyone. They really don't. They've got
Unless Russia's deathbed.
They really don't. Somebody take us to break. Don't let me forget. I got a underwater yap. Yeah,
don't worry, dude.
I got an underwater yap. I want to look at when we come back.
Unless you got something. I
hadn't queued up nothing. I was looking at this stupid yap. So when we come back, we'll
take
a peek at it.
This is cool. This is Korn doing Alice in Chains. That guy's got a great voice, doesn't he, man?
That's all right. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
I had a vocal coach in school, like when they, music classes and whatever, and he did all the classic things. of like making the K sound, like when you use a K word, or I don't know. He did all the stuff, man, to keep himself in range. They're doing somebody else's song, so that's not so easy because you're going to be judged on it, especially for an award show.
This is courtesy of what's his name, Kirk.
Alice in Chains was a good band. They had a lot of good songs.
If you see the top picture, see what it says, Democrats? That's Democrats then. The KKK, you see what it says on the bottom? Democrats now. And their black hats and masks and all. What's the difference?
They don't change. People don't change.
Well, they don't change, that's for sure.
No.
That's for sure.
They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who hurts you as long as they're Democrat.
Oh, man, I forgot about this. And so Kennedy was speechless over this. So between the time Biden and Trump took over, they spent $93 billion and nobody knows where it went.
Oh, God.
I like
Kennedy.
This guy, Kennedy's crazy. He's a pretty good guy, but it's the first time I've ever heard him speechless.
He's from Louisiana.
I've never heard him speechless before. And then this, of course, is the one closely blocked the National Guard. So they're all in there. 211. Oh,
what happened to Christy? What happened to Christy Nome?
I haven't heard anything. Oh, I love this one too. I haven't heard anything. We've got the wait thing. We know how Iran got nukes. This is a great one. This one right here with Obama in it. It says we know how Iran got nukes or we're getting nukes. That's all that money he sent them. Remember the 4 pallets of money he sent him?
Yeah.
That was fucking outrageous. I don't know what this is.
Trump is at odds with his intelligence community, though, because they're saying that Iran doesn't want the bomb. Tulsi Gabbard said that. And Trump said she's wrong. They do. It's what they want.
Yeah, Chelsea's changed their tune since then.
Yeah, but I'm saying, of course, they want the bomb because it means power, and they hate us and they hate Israel. They want power, power, power.
Yeah,
and then that's how they're going to get it. And then they'll do anything to get it, man. They're almost there. Israel pushed them back, and that's exactly what happened, and it's happening now.
Yeah, all 10 of their nuclear scientists are dead. Most of the buildings for those facilities are dead. Almost all of their senior military generals are dead, and all of them. And you showed earlier the local propaganda station was targeted. All precise attacks, all military attacks except for the TV station.
It was kind of weird. Hold on, let me clip this on right quick. Where's it at? There it is.
A disc-shaped object captured back in 2020, possibly somewhere over Afghanistan, Pakistan, the border there. Roll the video here. Jeremy says that this was filmed by some sort of DOD asset and forward-looking infrared shot from above looking down, and was according to the U.S. Air Force describing this object as possibly navigating through the clouds. There's no heat signature that you can see here. Nothing you would expect for a normal aircraft as it dips its way through. We're told the Pentagon logged it as a UAP, but so far it has not appeared on the Aero public list. That office tracking this stuff, whose official response to our request for comment was, quote, "We have nothing to offer." So Jeremy Corbell is the host of the podcast Weaponized. He joins us on set. Jeremy, good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you, man.
All right. So getting into this, navigating through the clouds, I hate to even bring this up, but that sounds a lot like Jordan Peele wrote it in Nope, right? That's what we saw a little bit in Nope. What's going on here? What are we looking at?
Yeah. So for a couple of years of investigating this footage, right, making sure it's authentic, where it came from, that was the running joke, was that it looks like the movie Nope. What we're seeing here that's different than ever before, that I've obtained and released with George Knapp thermal videos of UAP. Now, our government has admitted some of what we've put out. They've admitted their UAP. I'll tell you this. I'm not saying it. That was in the original footage. It says UAP navigating through clouds. They called it a disc. I'm not even calling it a disc. But what you're seeing is first
Hey,
No,
two
crap.
dill pickles, please.
Uh-oh.
You don't need pickles for pickleball. I've got
shape. I have never seen in all UFO history, when it comes out of military, an actual circular form. That's amazing. It was amazing to me. The second is the movement. When you see it make an abrupt turn from your left to your right when you're watching it. And the third thing that really was astonishing to me, this is in thermal. There is no heat signature of traditional propulsion. It is a perfect looking disc. Maybe it's an orb. I don't know, but I do know this. Our Air Force passively captured it. Then they said that this is a UAP. It is still designated a UAP. So when George and I obtain and release these, it's so the public can see. We're hoping to do a little bit of the job that we're not seeing with folks from Aero.
Now, it does say AI enhanced. There, it looks like there's some artifacting around it. What is the actual video, and what is possible artifacts from trying to boost the contracts and see what's going on here?
So we did an analysis of the video, but what I did was make sure to put out the original things that George and Knapp and I obtained. So you see it clearly says video 1, video 2, video 3. Our own government, because they've been studying this in the intelligence community, since 2020, they did a sort of rudimentary, I would say, kind of highlighting or enhancement of it. And that's why you see like a white ring around it.
It's 2020 enhancement. This is like pre-ChatGPT, pre-AI revolution here.
So what we did was we went in there just so people could see it better. We make it very clear, AI enhanced, because it changes the shape. It's a perfect sphere or a perfect circle, depending on angle of observation when you watch it. So what we did was heighten contrast. And we also made sure that you could see as it goes into clouds, we punched in. So the military videos are the ones that are black and white. The ones that we tried to enhance so people could just see a little bit better of shape and movement is kind of more blue.
And I mean, it's circular, and this is looking down at Earth, so you're looking at the clouds. Like, is there a chance that this is just a balloon?
Right. So if you look at the movement and you look at wind, and this is why we put it out to the detectives online, but our military doesn't think so. Our military called it a disc. Our intelligence community has been at this since 2020. Now, look, when assets like this get out to journalists like me and George, we're not experts at this, but we know and can report that our military calls this UAP, like every piece of footage we've put out. It's fascinating, man. And I think this rides on a much bigger and more important topic, which is that there are whistleblowers, and there are 3 who have confirmed to me, firsthand whistleblowers, that they will testify under oath publicly at Congress. Congress needs to respond to this video. It is time for them to respond to this, because I have people that are willing to testify at the next congressional hearing on UAP.
Yeah, whether they're or not, I mean, you have become the conduit for so many of these videos here. The military, to us, the DoD is like, we have nothing to offer on this, and yet we don't see it on the Aero website. What part of this would be classified? Like, why wouldn't this be listed?
I am not qualified to assess.
That's because y'all suck. That's why. Oh, there's is that on there? There's Honda's new spacecraft.
After all that BS,
Jeremy Corbell is that he said that he and George Knapp are not experts. I will agree that Corbell is not an expert, but I would have to say George Knapp is.
After all that BS, he's like, I'm not qualified.
Yeah, I mean that's really, you don't say that. What an idiot.
Well, I wouldn't qualify George Knapp as an expert.
Our research investigative reporter, he knows this stuff. He's an expert on this stuff.
George Knapp is a reporter. If he's an expert on UFOs, I don't know. That's pushing.
Well, I mean, he's an investigative reporter, so I mean, he dives deeper in than most reporters would, and I think since he
but I've seen him fall for some
quite a huge amount of subject matter in the.
That's the problem. He has put out a huge amount of subject matter, and a lot of it's been fake. That's what happens when you do that. Like the burrito man. I mean, the burrito alien. I mean, I couldn't even believe he put that out. And then he did the one with the family in the car. It took all of about 5 minutes to bust. He must hate me because quite a few of his things I've busted out pretty hardcore. I mean, the family was ridiculous. About the abduction, that was just ridiculous. And then the burrito thing where the guy captured the alien, rolled him up and stuffed him in the freezer and froze him. He looked like a giant burrito when he took him out. And that was just so fake it wasn't even funny. He's kind of like Hami Masan in the fact that he gets some good stuff, but he doesn't check everything. You got to check everything. There's actually a good picture of an F-14, actually two F-14s, and a saucer over Puerto Rico.
Oh wow!
There was an engagement over Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Remember the kid with the balloon boy?
There he is.
The dad sent the kid up into the balloon. Oh my god!
You're gonna try to say that's a UFO, right? Yeah. Okay. Give me a break.
A little funny, man.
I mean, some stuff is just ridiculous, but that's why the older footage is more important sometimes, because it hasn't been. It's a lot harder to fake stuff back then than it is today. You know, today it's easy.
This is a moon crash.
I mean, it's like making ghosties and stuff. It's pretty easy today.
That wouldn't even happen like that. Oh my god! People love faking stuff, though. I get it. Why not, man? It's fun. If I was like a teenager again, I'd go into this YouTube crap, faking stuff. You know, it's fun, man. You know what? But my search was for balloons, like balloon Chinese, because it looked like a balloon, didn't it? Didn't it look like a freaking balloon? I mean, like
Yeah,
it
was
moved
kind of
like
like undulating.
it moved like a balloon, and oh, look at that one! Boom. Those Chinese weather balloons that they sent over for Biden that were hovering right above. I mean, they can move them around. You know, they can manipulate them in the air currents. I mean, so I don't know, man.
Could be any damn thing. Oh, I see the Supreme Court sided with Trump on tariffs.
Oh, wow.
I guess the tariff court can F off. What the hell is this?
Welcome to. Thank you.
Here's the Phoenix lights, 1997.
I'm looking at it as a lake on South Mountain.
A couple of my friends lived on the mountains when it supposedly happened. Wendy Tide lived there too.
There's a lot of footage. There's a lot of people out there that saw this. I think then the mayor of Phoenix too took some video.
Yeah, there was a lot of people saw it, but the real problem is
now appeared again. It's come out in a different place.
The real problem is
far away.
2 million people in the Phoenix, actually 4 million in Phoenix, nobody else saw it.
2 of them.
It wasn't just Phoenix, though.
Yeah,
Right?
finally it hated. Now
There were suburbs of it, and it hovered over the state for like 4 hours, wasn't it?
Figure this
Well, I don't know how long it was there, but I know for the amount of people that was there, very few people saw it.
Hey, Sue.
That is true too.
It's like most giant UFOs.
All right, you tell me what it is.
It ain't flares.
They found out what blew up the star. I mean, what's his name?
It almost looks like parachute flares, doesn't it? But it's not.
They found out what blew on Elon's spaceship. Okay, what is this? Okay.
Take a look at this.
Yes, we know about the 2 aircraft carriers and the 9 destroyers headed over there. You know, they used to give them a lot more destroyers for them.
God.
I hit Bader. Finally. Submitted for your approval. What have we got here?
This guy's funny.
This is South Mountain. That's the city in front of us. Those lights have appeared.
Well, that is a totally different configuration than we've ever seen before.
Yep.
Okay, what the fuck?
I'm sitting over here saying to myself, I got the camera. Oh, now that one went out to the
one went off
to the left.
To the east. Yeah.
To the east. The time is about 10 o'clock, Sue?
Yes.
10 o'clock, March 13th, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Look at that. And they all went on in a sequence, too. Now, the thing that puzzles me is they can't be ordinary streetlights. They're going off now, right?
Yeah.
One drop.
Went off.
The thing that's amazing is that it must be so bright that they would carry, because we're looking at about 25 miles away. The middle one
there,
now.
there one. Oh,
The two,
another one.
there's another one.
I don't know, man.
Yep, there goes one.
We got the last one left.
A lot of people said they were flares. A lot of people said
Burning.
they were other things.
I've
Flares
seen
wouldn't hover
parachute
like
flares
that, though.
hang
They
out
would
for a
slowly
long
descend.
time. It depends on the
And
air
usually we've seen them
and
over.
how warm it is. And
It's gone.
Oh, there it comes.
But they almost look like parachute flares. That just kind
We're
of,
now looking at the same scene that we were looking at the nighttime. Give you the angle, an idea of the surroundings and what we saw at night, and the mountains
was just
where
here a
the
couple of weeks
lights
ago.
appeared to be. They appear to be to the left. I'm sorry, to the right and below the largest peak you see there.
So really those
which is at
lights
an elevation of
on that mountain.
I didn't see no
4,512 feet.
daytime pictures. All the pictures I saw were nighttime.
The city in front,
Looks like it could have been on that
the
mountain
contour of the mountain
right there.
in the foreground, as you can see in the silhouette in the previous night shots.
So
That
lights are up
peak, the
here.
highest peak, is 27 miles from our point here.
We'll have to bring Linda on. The one time Linda could tie. She's the foremost expert on the Phoenix lights. I don't know. I'd stayed out of them because I just didn't see anything in there that when I looked at it when I looked at them originally, I was kind of like something screwy about them. And then somebody said they were flares, and I said maybe not. There's just something. The only thing that gave them credibility to me was that a lot of people didn't see them.
But they did a video where they showed flares at about the same distance, and not only did they descend slowly, there's a trail of smoke behind it, and they flash, because it's like magnesium or something that's on fire, so it's not like quite a regular fire, kind of like flares and flares.
Yeah, but they got those round orange ones. They're just round. They come down. There's no smoke behind them. They just glow orange. But I don't even think that's what they were. I mean, see, like I said, the only thing to me that gave them credibility is when the report came out, because this was live and they were on the news talking about this in the local, and people were going outside on the side of the mountain and in the city and not seeing them. That's the only thing to me that gives it credibility, because I don't believe that unless you've been. I believe that unless you've been taken, you're not seeing a UFO. You're wasting your time.
No, we got to watch this. We got to watch this, man. Kurt Russell, a pilot who witnessed the Phoenix lights.
I looked into the international files, not covered by our Ministry of Defense, but maybe covered by yours. This took place in Arizona. An unidentified pilot, according to the press cuttings, flying near an airport in Arizona with his son when he spotted 6 lights in the night sky. So he called from the airplane to air traffic control to say, I'm seeing these lights here. I wasn't expecting any other planes. They're not supposed to be on my landing path. Can you tell me what's going on? They said there are no other planes. He said, I'm seeing 6 bright lights coming towards me. Mystery unresolved.
Except tail number for that plane was Bonanza 2 Tango Sierra, and I was the pilot. No way. Oliver and I.
Yes, take us back. Doesn't say that in the briefing.
Oliver and I.
I should have read to the end.
Oliver and I were flying in. I was flying him to go see his girlfriend, and we were on approach, and I saw 6 lights over the airport in absolute uniform in a V shape, and Oliver said to me, I was just looking at him, and I was coming in. We're maybe a half a mile out, and Oliver said, "Pa, what are those lights?" And I then it kind of like came out of my reverie, and I said, "I don't know what they are." I said, he said, "Are we okay here?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call him," and I reported it. And they said, "We're not painting anything. We don't show anything." I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to declare it's unidentified, it's flying, and it's 6 objects." Mm-hmm. We landed. I taxied, dropped him off, took off, went back to L.A. Never said a word. He never said a word. I never thought of it. 2 years later, Goldie is watching a television show when I came home. Yeah. And the show is on UFOs. But as I came home, "Hey, honey, how's it going?" And I'm kind of hearing the TV going, and I stopped and I started watching, and it was on that event. Now, that was the most That was the most viewed UFO event. Over 20,000 people saw that. And I'm watching this, and I'm feeling like Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's like, why do I know this? You know what? And it's not clear to me. And finally, I said, then they said the pilot reported it. A general aviation pilot reported it on landing. I'd never thought of it since then, and I said, that was me. That was me. And I said, wait a minute, I'll go to my logbooks. So I went to my logbooks, and there was the flight at that time, and I didn't mention anything about the UFO. The fascinating part of that to me is that it just went literally out of my head. Yeah. And Oliver never mentioned it. And had I not seen that show, I'd have never thought of it again.
Amazing.
And that to me was the weird part.
Believe it now, Chris? Yes.
Yes.
I'm convinced.
It's unidentified.
It's like you weirdo, isn't it, out of this? It's like, leave me the hell out of this, you weirdo freakos. He's like, there ain't no UFOs out there.
You know, it's funny because Kurt Russell is that guy in those apocalypse movies, you know, Escape from New York, Escape from LA, like all this shit. And then here he is, like, just flying his son on a date, you know, which is a very, very nice dad to fly you to freaking Arizona to see your girl, you know, and then he sees these lights in it and kind of like just a cool witness, you know, just a cool witness. I don't know. But he saw them. He said they were up in the sky.
Yes, and he probably was smoking a good guy.
To me.
Yeah, but I think from an airplane, and if you have decent eyesight, you have a much better point of view with a UFO than you do from the ground.
They well, I don't know what the Phoenix Lights was. It was kind of weird. No one ever really came up with a good thing, and there was no abductions reported, which is odd. Usually, when there's a big UFO sighting, there's always abductions reported. In this particular case, there wasn't, which makes me think it was something else. But what else? It was, you know, it's like when we were listening a few minutes ago, and they said DARPA assets. What the fuck is a DARPA asset?
Defense Advanced Research Projects.
Yeah, well, what, a plane, a boat, or a satellite? What the fuck are we talking about here? What was? Because it seemed to be following this thing without any real effort, whatever it was. So maybe that's what the UFO was looking at. DARPA's advanced research. They're like, oh, what is this? Oh, this is interesting. You know, DARPA's got to be pissed because Space Force took their plane from them. It's not DARPA's anymore. It belongs to Space Force now. They told them, fuck off. Quincy, what? Who? Oh, hold on, let me think. That's UPRNtalkradio.com. Yeah. Yeah. Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. And I believe it's, oh, I don't know. I think there's one at the top of the page and one in the middle of the page. They're yellow, whatever they are. Yeah. Yeah. No, you can find them. They're pretty easy. So I was reading earlier, you know, they were talking about the X-47, the new 6th generation plane. But Japan, Mitsubishi is building a beast of one. So, you know, Boeing and Lockheed they might have some competition.
Well, Mitsubishi made a beast of a plane in World War II, the Zero.
Yeah, well, they're making a beast of one right now. And, of course, they can't really use it for much because they're only allowed to have X amount of airplanes, but they can sure sell it to the United States.
Yeah, they could.
And if it's what it says is it sounds like it's going to be a space plane. Up into space, back down into the atmosphere. It's supposed to be fully functional airplane with the ability to go. When they talk about going to space, they're talking about only going out, you know, so far, but being able to come back down. And if it comes back at the right angle, it doesn't really have much in the way of heat to deal with. So I don't think it's going that far out into space, but it's going enough that it can jump. You know, when it goes up high enough and it comes back down, you're like skipping all that territory, and you can come straight back down on top of an airplane that was chasing you. Now that's going back down, and you're just falling out the sky at Mach 30 or something, saying, "Oh, you're going to die now." Slow down just enough to kill him and move on. Stephanie, you mean that clip we played about Nancy Pelosi? It's available on YouTube, yeah. Because she knew. It's not just that. So she could have called the National Guard, and
Muriel Bowers could have called the National Guard.
the mayor could have called the National Guard. Yeah. That's your two people. They could have both called, and that would have been it. Either one could have called them. It doesn't matter. Either one of them could have called them.
And both of them knew they should have been called before the event even began getting together that day. They should have been in place already.
And what nobody understands, because they were in D.C., why didn't you call them when it started going on?
Mm-hmm.
Because she wanted it, man.
She did, and they used it. I
think the bulk of what Pelosi was saying in that car was that she knew that they should have been there before they, set up the barricades. They should have been ready to stop it, and that she's responsible.
And if there would have been 2,000 or 3,000 National Guards strung along that barricade, then people would have calmed their asses down.
Quite a bit. The mob mentality would never have set in. I mean, if you look at the video, there's some people are just, once they get in the building, they're just like, like they're
when you watch the videos, you'll see key people. There's 2 or 3 people dressed in black and red that are screaming, do this, do that, do this. Nobody else is doing it, just them. These are people, whether they were because, there was supposed to be 25 FBI people in the crowd. Those observer people that go out and make trouble. Oh. And as far as we know, there may have been 25 or 30 anarchists in there causing trouble. But in the end, it doesn't. When you look at the general crowd, they're not looking like they wanted to be in a big mess. I mean, that one guy screaming his ass off, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. And they're like, yeah, whatever, dude, go away. So it shows you they had no interest in doing any real harm. Mm-hmm. But you did have those anarchists out there screaming that. And I noticed none of them went to jail. Like the one that broke into the window and the one that was standing by the gate directing people, that person didn't go to jail. Why not? Why didn't they go to jail? I mean, they were directing people how to get in there. They should have went to jail.
They may have been given some sort of clout or clemency or something, some kind of a get out of jail free card.
50 years ago today, gentlemen, Jaws came out.
Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws is 50 years old today. This weekend.
Where were you guys when Jaws? I was 7 years old.
Jaws got a UFO in it.
I was 8 or 9.
Dude,
one of the night scenes of Jaws has a UFO in it.
I watched this movie last night, and it's just really an amazing movie. I mean, the camera angle, intent, and also these two guys, they freaking hate each other. The animosity between them, and fighting all the time. And this dude was drunk all the time. He was calling the other guy like all these anti-Semitic names.
Yeah,
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chump some of this shit.
Love Roy Scheider, man. I love the dude. I think he's great in everything he does.
He was fantastic. I loved him.
Yeah, be careful running that on here, that we might get popped for it.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Just a little clip. You're used, man. We're up to 2 minutes.
Yeah, YouTube gets a little weird about clips.
Look at this mechanical shark. Look at how big it is underwater. This is a live mechanical effect shark, by the way. It's 27 feet long.
Shut off that engine.
Going to get you, man. These guys are such great actors.
That's when you get out to 30-6.
That was Richard Driver. Look at the movie, Close Encounter. I mean, come on.
That's a fake shark.
That's when you get out to 30-6.
25. 3 tons on them.
30-6 is great.
It'll penetrate his head pretty easy.
Right? Gotta get to work.
How
do we handle
it? We need a bigger boat. Let's go get a fucking bigger boat, man.
A302, that works. But you know what? I mean, like, think of Richard Dreyfuss, what a huge actor. And then Close Encounters. I mean, he made it was
Yeah,
a
he
mad.
was great in that too.
That was a really defining movie, I think, for a lot of reasons.
Close Encounter was definitely an interesting.
Star Wars came out, Close Encounters came out, and then everybody anticipated Star Trek. It was going to be this great movie. It came out, and here's Captain Kirk looking like he got some kind of rug on his head, man. I don't know what.
Yeah, he had some weird
they can
perm
make a
or whatever.
spaceship, but they can't make a toupee.
Mr.
You know what I
Spock
mean?
had long hair.
But you know what? There was nothing like big CG in that movie, and I think people expected a lot out of it. They improved it. I mean, they move on. It's cool that Simon Pegg.
The problem with the movie was that they used a hour and a half long script for a TV pilot and stretched it into almost 2.5 hour. If you get the director's cut, it's a 2.5 hour movie. If you watch the theatrical cut, it's a 2 hour movie. There's 30 minutes of dead space throughout that movie. That's why it sucks. Oh, there went. Yeah, we just got popped.
What happened?
We lost 2 Facebook feeds.
Oh,
and Roku.
No, Roku ain't going nowhere. Roku's just where it pops on and off like that. It's
Draws should be community material by now.
No, they get. That's what I'm saying. They're all funny now. They're just. We lost a channel because of something playing. There was a couple of them played back to back, and they lost their minds and took the channel. It's it's popped all of them. They all popped
At least
off.
we were able to play our music, man. See, we didn't get popped for that at least.
Well, music's a little different now with and YouTube ain't the one that popped us. Facebook popped us.
Yeah, Facebook sucks anyway.
Yeah,
it's not all the Facebook popped us, but 2 of them did.
Yeah,
UFO on the cover and
they're like they're like I don't know. they should respect their audience more than what they do.
Yeah, Rumble, and I love that commercial with Rumble and YouTube. It's such a great commercial. Y'all should check it out. Rumble's telling you all the things you can do, and YouTube's telling you all the things you can't do. But I gotta give YouTube credit. They've gotten better. They're trying harder. I think they might turn themselves around. I mean, I don't know for sure. Oh, we came back on. Now that we turned it off, we popped back on. It's
one's back on my side.
Yeah, let me move this out the way. Frankie. Well, we're getting close to the end. Why? What you got? I forgot to do it. I was going to open the Power Talk room up tonight, and I forgot. Yeah, I got preoccupied with something else. The gray zones and beyond. It's Science and Beyond. With John DeSalvo and I, Sir John DeSalvo and I, those shows will be up probably tomorrow for sale. If not, they'll be up for Sunday. Yeah, and you'll be able to get them on this channel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they'll just be up there. See, I don't know. We'll find out that. Well, no, the first one that's going to be like $2.99. We have a bunch of banners from old shows that you can't get anywhere else. So if you subscribe to the lower one, you'll get those. If you subscribe to the middle one, you'll get the Gray Zone and the other one. Now, if you subscribe to the $20 one, you'll get Sean stripping.
Oh gosh.
So just. Well, we'll trade them out. Sean 1 week, Mike 1 week, Jay 1 week. Yeah, we'll put a couple of the other hosts up.
It'd be funny if I learned how to do AI and actually had a video of me stripping.
I can teach you how to do AI. You want to learn chat? The guy, one of the guys who helped invent AI was on this show. On this show. Oh, I don't know, 4 years ago when it came out, and he was. Matter of fact, the whatchamacallit banner, where is it at? Well, not on this show, but on UFO Undercover is where he came. Well, the banner on that show is actually an AI banner. The brown one. It's an AI that it took like 3 seconds to make.
Yeah.
So when him and I got to talking about it, I called John when I got off the phone. I said, John, you're in trouble, dude. How you going to get fucking past AI?
Yeah.
It's a little harder to fake writing a book, but it's not as hard doing when you're doing art. So they
Artwork
actually
or
request.
yeah,
So now,
photography even.
yeah. So now, if you're gonna submit to writers and illustrators, you have to have the progression of your work for the illustrators. Yeah, if you don't have it, you can't win. Well, they don't know if you used AI to create it or not. So until the government decides that they have to put a code in all AI, which they're going to do sooner or later, until then, you don't really know. Because I'm working on a series with AI right now. I'll probably be getting some help and some ideas for it later on in the month. But it's, I was doing a series for Netflix a while back, and yeah, I don't know. And Netflix don't keep everything up anymore. I see a lot of stuff I used to watch is gone. One of my favorite things over there the other day I couldn't find was Altered Carbon. It's got to be somewhere. It's a good series. So it's only 2 seasons. It's a lot of sex, a lot of drugs, a lot of blowing shit up. None of that matters in this movie. There's a lot of good content in it. It's all based on they found an alien technology which allowed them to build these little things they put in the back of your neck, and it downloads your consciousness in it. So if you get killed, they can just drop it into another body, and boom, there you go. Your consciousness is in there.
Sounds very
Stuff
much
that
like the movies Johnny Mnemonic and Matrix, which were both starred in by
yeah. It's kind of like Matrix, but it's a little different than Matrix because everything's real. You're
You know
not.
what, though? I had a thought. John Wick. Let's just say Joe Montaldo.
John Wick. You're not getting me in trouble, buddy. I get enough trouble on my own. It's we were talking the other day. So somebody had called me, because this show's up for an award, along with a couple other shows, and he had called me about the show. This year, instead of being up for one award, we were 3 different companies that we're up for awards with. We'll probably get runner up or something this year, but there's some stuff we need to work on, and we might be able to get it finished before the finals and the awards. But they when they called me, he said, "Man," he said, "y'all can be aggressive some nights," and I'm like, "What show are you talking about?" He said, "News on the flip side." I said, "We can be aggressive." I said, "We do news. It should usually the first hour is news." I said, "The second hour is whatever news we have not left. We do that, and then we get into opinions, and then the last hour we usually just fuck around whatever we want to talk about. It could be anything." And he said, "I noticed." He said, "But y'all get aggressive with each other." I said, "No, not really." I said, I always tell them they're fucking wrong and I'm right." I said, "But other than that, we don't get aggressive." He starts laughing. He goes, "Do you realize that all the fucking time they don't listen, but still I tell them." He said, "Well, somebody said you realize." I said, "Well, come listen to the show. Come watch the show." So he pulled out 4 episodes and watched them. He said, "Oh, y'all just a lot of fun."
That's cool.
He said, "No telling what's going to go on in that last." That's one of his bitches. He said, "We need to work in the last hour," but he said, "But the first 2 hours are fabulous." And he said, "We need to be a little bit more professional in some things if we plan on winning anything big that relates to money," which I understand. But I mean, we're just feeling it out for this time. And he's like, "I really liked it though." I said, "Y'all had a lot. It was a lot of fun." He said, "I like the way you use videos and shit." He said, "Y'all have no qualms playing music or using videos." He said, "Those videos drive your points home really well." I said, "Of course they do. That's why the fuck we use them." I said, "We're not amateurs." I said, "We just like to misbehave." I said, "It's not that we don't understand what we're supposed to be doing. It's just hard." He said, "Especially because that fucking Michael can't behave himself."
Yeah, it's hard to be adulting when you've been up since 5:30.
So he goes, "Well, which one's the Michael?" He said, the bald-headed guy with the beard, is that Michael?
No.
He said, "He's the bad one." I said, "JJ's a sweetheart. What are you fucking talking about?" He said he's waiting for Sean to come out with 2 knives in the middle of the show. I said, "That's why we call him Dexter." He said, "Y'all really call him Dexter?" I said, "Yeah." I said he's a butcher by trade. I said, "So we call him Dexter." "Oh, man, y'all are sick." So I didn't know if he meant sick like in sick bad or sick and like sick good. Sick and
I'm going with sick good.
So I was kind of like, what the hell ever.
Yeah, oops.
And I told him, I said, sometimes we slip into a little ufology and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Or a little paranormal or stuff like that. I said, it just depends.
Food.
I said when we get through the real news. He said, y'all do overseas news. I said, well, that's where the news is right now. I said, the Trump shit's just boring.
We've got
And
5 carrier groups over there. Of course, it's news.
he said one of the things he liked about the show is no one had Trump derangement syndrome. And we only talked about Trump when it was pertinent to what had to be talked about. He said, I noticed y'all didn't talk about him unless it was something important. I said, well, yeah. I said, because Trump's fucking news every day, every minute. I said, some of the stuff we're not interested in. I said, we'll say, like, if he won a case, we'll talk about that. Let's do it. We might not actually talk about it. We'll just say, hey, the Supreme Court sided with him on this, and other thing, and then we'll move on to something else. I said, there's other things. Because he texted me when I had the flying car, when I took it down. He said, where's the car? I said, I don't know. I fucking wouldn't leave it alone. I said, they put it up, took it down, put it up. So I got tired of fucking with it. I said, I took it off. They like us over there. NBC likes it, but they don't get us for free, so they can't get the show right now. They get a lot of the other shows on the network. Just they can't get this one. They can't get Arthur's Quill. They can't get Writers of the Future. They can't get UFO Undercover, and they can't get The Outer Realm because all those shows you have to pay to have on your network. But all the rest of them they can get for free, at least for 90 days, until I say fuck you.
Yep.
Janine, where do you go vote? I will post all that. We're making a promo for it. You should see it in the next couple of days. You'll see a promo up, and then it'll tell you where to go vote. You can go vote. But you can only vote the first time. X amount of people can vote. The second time, it's only people who have submitted that get to vote. Yes, well, I'm going to vote. Well, only if I lose. If I win, I'm going to say, fuck y'all, nah.
Whether it's for local elected official or national elected official, if you don't vote and the guy you wanted to get in there doesn't get in there, you have no room to complain, and don't come bitching and crying to me because I don't care.
Yes, well, so there's we have a lot of fun. I mean, this show's one runner up. I don't know, like 7 years in those. So has UFO Undercover. It's well, runner-up's all fine and dandy if you like runner-up. If you like it, to me, runner-up sucks. Somebody said, well, why don't you have a trophy? Because I won't buy one because I'm not getting a runner-up trophy because it sucks.
If you're not first, you're last. So, yeah.
I could actually have about 12 trophies back there from the different things we've been in for runner-ups. No, fuck you and your runner-up.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think runner-up's a good thing for people who are tender. I'm not tender. You're not going to hurt me because it's not a
participation trophy. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I don't need it. No, I like the people over there. They're good people, but I mean, runner-up is just what it is. You lost. That's what runner-up means to me. We lost. That's fucking all it means. What are you talking about? What story? Let me see. I think we've been through a while. Let me go see. Justice. Quit that with the damn commercial. Justice Jackson issues sharp critics of her Supreme Court colleagues. Which one is Justice Jackson?
I have no idea.
And you also got to remember, we got the midterms for polls coming up.
Yeah, we got a year.
We should be doing polls during the show, man. Like putting a couple.
Well, I can tell you. I'll tell you what the polls are right now. I went over them today in case I wanted to do them tonight.
Don't say our own. Just ask question type of poll.
Yeah,
we could do polls.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Well, we own APC. We own the American Polling Company. It belongs to the network. It's ours.
We should use.
So, and we used to do a lot of polling. I just haven't been doing that much this year. But
I'm saying right on the show, man. We could ask it in the chat what people think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Michael going to be the next one pregnant by the alien? Yes or no?
Too late, man. I took the pill. I took the pill. I took the pill.
I took the pill.
I enjoyed
That's like pleading the fifth, man.
Good.
Now give me your credit card, alien.
It's like
Make my car payment.
That's like pleading the fifth.
That's he's gonna have those alien babies. He's gonna be paid for life, man.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna bail. I'm fading out here.
Yeah, we only got 12 minutes, so get out of here, man.
Those alien babies, they're kicking, man.
We'll be wrapping up at the top of the hour.
See you tomorrow.
See you, Jay.
Get some rest.
Go kicking. See you guys tomorrow.
Get the boss lady a hug. Be good.
All righty.
Okay.
Be safe. Be safe. It's gonna be hot too, man.
Yeah, it is. All next week. 91.
You bunch of pussies. Oh my God, y'all a bunch of pussies, man. Hot.
Heat wave.
Come down here and I'll show you what the fuck hot is, man. Jesus.
Dude, we're used to, well, the last 43 days in Pennsylvania, it rained. I don't know what it was like in New York.
Well, you know, it's weird. So it's been weird, this climate change, because the weather, usually we see sweeping rain across the bottom of the country. Pretty much New Orleans gets 65 to 70 inches of rain a year. So that's like 180 days of rain. Well, lately we ain't been seeing it. I mean, we've been seeing the rain. It just comes down in bigger groups. So we haven't really been seeing, we've been seeing a lot more sun. And I've been noticing we've been seeing a lot nicer weather. So what's been happening is from the Mississippi Valley up, the Gulf is just dumping all this shit there. And y'all are getting it. It's all going up north. It's not coming nowhere around. You can actually see the stream from. It's like a straw in the Gulf, just sucking it up to up north, and that's what it's been doing. And hopefully, it keeps doing that too. Keep that shit out of my house. It's been raining a lot up there. I've been noticing, and I noticed the central part of the country has been getting its ass kicked with some serious nasty weather. It's even the tornadoes seem to have moved east some. People, I feel.
Ohio. The Ohio's got a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in West Virginia last weekend, it rained so much that 3 towns in West Virginia, man, all flooded out, dude.
West Virginia is such a pretty state.
It is.
You know, I've been there about 3 times. Last time here's a story for y'all. You're gonna love this story. So we go through West Virginia to pick up a friend of mine. It's right in spring, so everything's blooming. We go pick her up, and then we head down to DC because that's where I was lecturing. I was actually lecturing at Gettysburg is where it was at. So we get down there and we do the lecture on. You spend the 3 days down there. We're coming home. So it starts a fucking blizzard. I'm not kidding you. We're on interstate at night. I mean, it's blizzarding. It's blizzarding so hard it's going sideways. It ain't even coming down. It's just going sideways. And, I haven't driven in snow in probably, 14, 15 years. So I'm laughing my ass off. My wife and my other friend fell asleep, and the 2 of us were still awake. We were laughing, cutting up jokes. We were either going to die or make it, one or the other. It's just, there was no telling what was going to happen. But anyway, we're cruising along. We drop her off. We spend the night there. We get in the car in the morning. We're headed home. So we go through this tunnel. Took a little longer than usual, and we come out the tunnel in the fucking direction we went into the tunnel.
Huh?
So so I was headed south. So I go through the tunnel south. I come out through the tunnel headed north. You figure it out. I'm not shitting you either. And I'm not the only one that was in the car. It was weird. We had the phone on talking when we realized it. We went into the tunnel, headed south. We came out of the tunnel, headed north.
That's weird.
The only thing that somebody had to stop the car, take us out, move us around, put us in. And I guess they fucked up and put us going back the wrong way, or they put us going the wrong way so we would remember that something happened. I don't know either way, but it was fucking weird. Because we were cruising along, and we keep really good track of time when we're driving for multiple reasons. And we're cruising along, so all of a sudden I said, man, this tunnel seems to be longer. And I said, something's on the wrong side of the tunnel. I said, I thought that shit was on the other side of the tunnel. Because in the other tunnel headed down, it was on the right wall. On this tunnel, it was on the other wall. I was like, what the fuck? We get out. And we're still driving. We see the exit. I get out. I said, did we pass this exit? And then I realized when we get off the exit, we're headed north. I was like, well, look at this shit. Everybody in the car freaked out. So then we turned around, and then we didn't want to go back through the fucking tunnel again. So what happened?
Yeah.
So I said, everybody make sure you're awake. There's a gun. I said, we're getting through this tunnel. I was going to go around, but the route going around, it was so much longer. So we went through it. We made it through it. We come out the other side. It was just so weird. It was a weird day. There's a lot of time missing. There's a lot of shit going on. I remember we had planned on getting to this hotel at 8 when it was getting dark, which was a good ways down. I forgot where it was, but it was, I think, the top of Georgia or somewhere. And we wasn't even close. We were still 5 hours away at least. I was like, what the fuck? So we had to stop because I was exhausted. And we stopped, stayed somewhere else, and then drove down. And we just ended up driving like 12 hours or 14 hours. I mean, because I think from here, I think Gettysburg was like 16 hours or something like that. Maybe DC was 16 hours. I don't know. The whole thing was very fucking strange, though. I mean, it was just such a weird event, and it took a while for it to sink into our heads. If we wouldn't have had the phones to remind us, I think we would have just forgot about it.
Huh.
It was in the phone, so you couldn't forget. And the amount of time it took. So you hear us talking because I do a lot of live when I'm driving. So you hear us talking on Facebook, and we go into the tunnel, and then it's like 15 or 20 minutes, and then poof, there's nothing. I even went and checked on YouTube, but the stream wasn't disconnected because there was like 4 hours or 5 hours of blackness. And then you see the camera picking us up, headed the other direction. And when we made the exit tunnel, and I had several people write to me, "Hey Joe, why is this like this? Did you have something over the camera lens?" I'm like, no. And then even a lot of those people realized we were headed in the wrong direction.
Huh.
It was weird. It was creepy. It was all Heidi's fault anyway. We're gonna blame it on
She's not
Heidi.
in there, man. No one's in the room in the chat.
Oh, no, that's right. If Michelle was here, we'd blame it on her. Jimmy, where are you at? No, I'll use Pal Talk tomorrow. I promise. I'll open it up tomorrow. Well, Messenger's fine, but I'd rather do it on Pal Talk because at least it's easier for me to see. And I can copy and paste it off Pal Talk if I want to drop it in here. Yeah. It's hard to do it off the phone. Oh, yeah. No, we're getting ready to go. We got,
3 minutes. We got 3 minutes. Well, I do. I gotta go.
Sean's got a hot date with like 5 women. I don't know what that's. Every time I talk to him, he's got. Well, he goes gold mining. He's out. He got these big nuggets. He say, "Hey, baby, you want to come take a ride with me?" And they're like, "Ooh, yeah."
Red meat costs a lot of money these days, man. It is like gold.
Yeah, it's
got the porterhouse. Porterhouse like a $45 steak right there.
Easy.
Well, I was thinking about Sean yesterday because I was looking at a cowboy ribeye. I was thinking.
How the hell can you all eat that shit, man? That's like eating 2 roast. I mean,
no, it's not that big. It's about yay thick. It's about that big. It just got a big ass bone hanging out the end of it. That's really all it means down here when you hear cowboy ribeye. They could eat this thick. Those shitheads when they do that. But so I'm looking at things. I want to buy this steak. So I flip it over. I wanted to see the price on it. It was $24. And I'm thinking, do I want to buy a $24 ribeye? Because, actually I thought about it. If I spend another $20, I could get a rack and come home and make me some prime rib.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about that. Then I finally just said, fuck it. Just said, the hell with it.
The cheapest way to do that is you go to your supermarket, buy a rib roast with the bone on it, have the meat cutter, take it off the bone, and tie it back on the bone, and then go home, do what you got to do with it. And when it's done cooking, all you do is cut that line, the string, and take that piece of meat off the bone, and you got beef ribs. I mean, it's the best way to do it. Taking the meat off the bone, tying it back up on the bone, cooking it, so you got actually 2 meals.
No, check it out. I'm always looking for something new, and we have a pretty good butcher down here. He listens when I
I'm the best. I'll
Well, I
bust
didn't say he was better than you. I just said he was pretty
I'll
good.
bust my 3 knives out on you, Joe.
I just said he was pretty good. I said he's good as you come. He's bitches. He's and he listens good too. Because the first butcher they had down there, I tell him when I go buy a rack of when I go buy the whole rack of prime rib, or if I go buy a half a filet, I'd say I want them 2 inches. This motherfucker couldn't figure out 2 inches to save his life. He bring me back like this. I said, dude, that's not 2 inches. That's like a fucking quarter inch. What is that?
Do you know the rule of thumb of what we use as a meat cutter? If you want to, from the tip of your thumb down to the end is a quarter. The nail from the tip of your thumb to the first knuckle is 1 inch, and the tip of your the thumb down to your second knuckle is 2 inches. Check it out. That's how we figure it out.
I'll tell that motherfucker that when I see him.
That's the
Because he
rule.
does good. I mean, he does good. When I ask for 2 inches, they're usually about like that. And because what I do is, so they get the fillets. You get it $30, $35. You get a half a fillet. So I'll buy 2 of them. I'll buy one, get them cut 2 inches. I usually get about 8, sometimes 7, and then I'll have him cut
a whole one. Why don't you buy a whole one?
Because they only come in halves. They don't sell you a whole. They only come in
They're
halves.
from Mexico, dude.
So, no, they're local beef. It's all grown local. It's all Black Angus. So what I'll do is after I get that, I'll go ahead and get another one, and I'll have them cut them about the size of my pinky because I use them for breakfast steaks. And sometimes I'll throw a little Bernese sauce or a hollandaise sauce on them. Stick them bitches on a shit English muffin with a poached egg and make my own Benedict Arnold shit out of. Well, that's not what you call it. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, brother, I gotta go. I'll see.
Yeah,
you
we're
tomorrow.
going. It's 12 straight up, so we're gonna get out of here. Sean, go get some rest, man. Take it easy. If you need anything, call me. Just
Mike, have a good night, buddy.
I'm home all day tomorrow. I'll just be fucking around with shit. Gene, Jack, all the rest of y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Oh no, I was gonna say that. Calm
Good
down.
night,
Any
Mike.
moans,
See you,
any
man.
moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, please write to Michelle DeRoche. You just gotta give me time. I was gonna say it. Mike and I'll be here on the chat tomorrow. Well, I'm sure we'll have a little bit to talk about Iran and Israel, and maybe even Ukraine. But
Oh yeah, there'll be action tomorrow. It's the weekend.
yeah, it is, and then of course there's so many other things that we want to talk about. Well, we got through about 2/3 of our topics tonight, and then we just took it easy the rest of the night. Well, sometimes we do that. You know what, Jenny? You can fuck off. How's that? I don't really care. Ooh, who are you going to complain to?
Who are you gonna call?
Oh, you're going to call? Oh, the person I just said, Michelle. Yeah, please write to her. You know what? Tell her she's a bitch. See what she tells you. Yeah, tell her that. Yeah, I want to see you tell her that. You are the 4th person in a month that told me they were going to get me fired. Oh, really? I mean,
you're fired.
So you see my name right there? You see my name right there? Type it in next to United Public Radio. Yes, because I can't get fired. I own the fucking place. I mean, I get bitched at because my manager likes to bitch at me, but other than that, no.
Oh my God!
You don't believe me? Well, just type it in. You're thinking of being a dick? I am a dick, but still, type it in. Oh, you scared, aren't you? But anyway, we got to go. We ain't got time to play with you. If you want to come fight with us tomorrow, feel free. Mike and I love to argue with people. Stop by, bitch all you want. We'll tear you a new asshole, and then you can go home walking funny. And no, really. We're on the chat tomorrow night. Well, Michael does Michael Angley after the chat, so it's like 4, almost 5 hours. Excuse me. A really good radio. Well, come on by. Come on by and put your foot squarely in one of our asses. I want to see it. I love to fight with people. Come by. So does he. We'll have a good old time. Bring some friends, man. Don't be scared.
Yep.
Yeah, bring a dozen friends or so. But anyway, we really got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio. This is News on the Flip Side. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to see on the show, you can write to me at iCarCox.net. With any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, feel free to write to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Michelle DeRoche. On that note, good night and have a good weekend. Fuck off, people.